Howdy folks, and welcome to Adventures in Alberon, our 5th edition D&D campaign. I'm going to take us out to our main screen. There are a few changes this week. Sadly, Miles and Allie are stepping away from the campaign just to pursue some real-life quests. Hopefully we'll be seeing them pop up from time to time as guests. After 3 years, it is always sad to see people leave, but especially as we're coming up near 100 episodes. But real life takes precedence, and we wish them well on their adventures in the meantime. This puts us into some pretty unfamiliar territory. So, welcome, Hannah. You're the first new player to the primary campaign at our table in 3 years. So, welcome.
Great to be here.
Yeah. And Hannah, when it's appropriate to introduce your character, we'll have that happen in-game. A couple of announcements before we get started. Next week, we are going to be starting a Starfinder campaign called Mosaic Team 5. Matt's going to be there. Also joining us, a couple of guests from the campaign, one-shots that we've had. So Ari, Dan, and Olive have all been guests, and then Carson will be joining us for the first time. That's next week, Thursday, at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, although Matt will run late. But roughly 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on Twitch. And then the following Friday will be session 99 of Adventures in Alberon, where hopefully we'll have Dan. And then session 100, we'll have another guest joining us named Alana. And so potentially that will be the full party. We'll see you in a couple weeks. Also, we have an Instagram and a Twitter, @AlberonRPG. There are encounter maps and hand-drawn things and all kinds of minutiae that are hard to see on these cameras. @AlberonRPG on Instagram is the best place to see them. Finally, we use Sirenscape for our sound effects that are not made by us. If you want to add fantasy combat to your child's birthday party, Sirenscape is a great digital tool set that will allow you to do that. And that is all that I have for this week. So, I am going
make
to
all the kids roll for initiative.
Oh man, I would love that as a if I could. I feel like
had a buffet of like wiffle ball bats and other like random weapons.
That's just LARPing.
Yeah.
Okay. So this recap is going to be a little bit more in depth, just to we're going to have to roll back a slight amount to explain the absence of Heinrich and Morwen. So I'm going to do that. It'll also help catch you up a little bit since we weren't here for the last session. Yeah.
That life thing.
It is. It's tough. We open in the Feywild, in a clearing of the tall pines and elms of the wild around you. There's a field of stones with a mirror-like finish. From the tree line, they reflect the forever dusk of the Feywild sky, like a dark emerald that curves forever just out of sight beyond the horizon. In the midst of the mirror quarry, you saw 3 distinct stones, set as mirrors with different images amongst them. Akka, you noticed a rhyme stitched into frozen spiderwebs strung between the mirrors that spoke of dire consequences should you touch the wrong mirror. Yet beyond the smooth facet of one of these stones lay the path forward towards Sun Honey. My computer is messing me up here. Through the first mirror, the mirror of conflict and resolution, Akka, you saw Zeistris, this mind flare lich floating near, with the Queen of Rot, Azrah, in the background. Shay, you, in place of Zeistris, saw Jarux's sneer up front, with the same figure behind. The second mirror, that of peace and paucity, Akka, you saw Drea, the Dragonborn that works with you in the Dungannon Antiquities Collective, beckoning you to join her at the head of the Cold Forge, the mythical forge that probably no longer exists. Shay, with your training, this mirror of empty promises showed you only vague outlines, like shapes in the clouds. Heinrich, for the tiefling warlock now wearing the cloak of the lorebinders and with celestial glyphs blazing to life around him, seemed distracted, and you could see beyond the shape of an older tiefling woman and a younger tiefling man, both with features similar to Heinrich. He touched the second mirror. The third mirror, the mirror of power and promise. Akka, you saw yourself armed in wondrous, sleek armor, designs of which you could simultaneously understand and instantly lose in your brain. You saw vague silhouettes gazing at you from around with approval and hope. Shay, again, this mirror not really showing you anything. Your ability to see beyond it. Though you paused at this one, for you did see the vague shapes that even in this kind of almost ghostly form, very familiar to you, of Azrah, Hylan, and Crick seated around a table, very peacefully. And though they are only these kind of amorphous blobs, you still get the sense of these figures. Morwen, this black tabaxi, pursued through the Feywild already and no longer tethered to the memory of the ancient dwarf Gunter, saw mountains of gold and treasure. And with a cackle and eyes larger than any you've seen prior, she stepped through the third mirror. This left Akka and Shay alone in the snowy forest that was seen just beyond the first mirror, where you met Azalian, the Eladrin who you learned was called the Winter That Wanders. He shared food with you and answered your questions honestly. At Azalian's request, you set off to the fallen pixie community of Sunhoney, hoping to purge the infection that had spread there in order to retrieve a resurrection stone for Morwen. You entered this massive, hollowed-out tree that seemed to be equal parts wood and rot, the smell of decay hot in your nose and mouth, shadows moving along the periphery of your visions up and up into the dark recesses of Sunhoney's upper reaches. Even with your keen eyes and dark vision mask, Shay, you could not see the origins. But you descended, step by step, down a pale staircase that lit your way with faint glow from gold, filigreed bees and honeycomb patterns that run the edge of each step. You reach the bottom to a throne room, which is where we're going to begin this session. Give me just one moment. The space before you, Shay and Akka, 35 feet off the ground, you can see these vaulted ceilings. Beyond, there are 4 stone walls covered in purple fungus and these ugly jutting toadstools that seem to kind of pulse, even as you see them. There are other signs of rot and decay, and the smell here is overwhelming. You can see sandstone pillars in the corners that help support the weight of the massive tree above. These floors are dirty, but in places you can see entire mounds of rotting material. In the center of the room you see a plus-shaped, slightly raised portion of the floor with intricate patterns in gold and green. In the center you see a relatively simple wooden throne. On this throne you see an elf, with skin still tan, somehow swollen and distended. She has hanging from her fey ear this ring of withered and dry mushrooms, dangling from a dirty, threadbare headband. You might be mistaken at first that she has wings, but as your eyes adjust, you can see at first what appear to be moth-like material, actually more of a cloak, hanging tattered behind. What do you want to do?
Is this body, like, preserved? It's bloated, but it's not just like a skeletal, like nothing?
So from the doorway, there's about 35 feet, and it is dark. Even with dark vision, kind of hard to see. If you want to get closer, you absolutely can. Or you can make a medicine check from far away, but that's a high DC.
Can I see like 5 feet in front of me?
Yeah.
And it's like rot everywhere.
Yeah.
Is there a path that I can fly through without getting near any of the rot to get a little closer so I can see?
You can certainly try. The problem that you're really going to have here is, even as you look and you try to kind of like piece together a path, you can see places that you can go. But here and there, as you like listen, you can hear like the, and you see something fall and just onto the ground. There are elements that kind of fall away.
We have to cleanse the rot. Yeah. I don't want to go yet. I want to take this sensibly.
Start walking, picking my way as gently through as possible.
Sure. And for you, really no problem. It's interesting, Akka, for you, you saw these like little paths kind of shift and open up. But for Shay, she seems to be able to move, and it's almost like these things part around her. The feet find these place is not clean, but definitely the whole floor like a thin film. You can kind of feel your feet shift a little bit every step that you take, and you take great care to walk mindfully. As you walk through the door on the left and the right, you can see there are these big clusters of purple metallic crystals. They smell especially bad. But walking forward, you can get to the throne within 10 feet. What do you want to do?
Is this a body? And if so, how did it die?
Make a medicine check.
I'm gonna try to follow Shay flying,
Okay.
but like to get through, seeing that Shay was able to. Like,
Yeah.
I can probably
Make an acrobatics
fly
check.
my way through.
It's a really low DC, but
24.
Okay.
Flying through
Yeah.
with my acrobatics.
Yeah. With a 24.
Six.
Oh, buddy. So with the 24,
Starting off strong with a 2.
you walk forwards and you can see this elf almost like a desiccated husk. What you saw before, the tan skin, more of this thin film of rot that clings to most of the surfaces here. And then, despite the fact that you see this almost mummified skin, you see the body shift. You hear little elements of the rot kind of pop and give away. And suddenly the body begins to slide up the throne, and you see the large mound of fungus behind begin to rise. The body disappearing into it. I need everybody to roll for initiative.
Oh, good.
Including you.
Okay. So it didn't even. I'm gonna.
No, that's not.
Oh, can I use my flash of genius on it to make it an 11?
I could have before.
Well, it's my reaction, right?
It is your reaction, but I feel like you probably would have had to do a little bit of a closer reaction to it happening.
Oh,
Matthew, could you place that out there, please?
yes. Initiative. I actually want to do it again.
Let's see more appropriate music here. Oh, hello, DOS. Okay.
Are we like here-ish?
So you guys are entering. If you see those two clusters of purple
throne
crystals,
is-
the
Oh,
mirrors.
I can't see the throne at all. From
Should we turn it, maybe?
Yeah.
Throw that bad Larry up on.
That bad Larry. I like that. Okay.
It's my summer shade.
I'll move it around as needed. Oh, you know, throw that bad Larry up there?
Oh yeah. Give me 1 second. Ooh, you guys got real lucky.
He had to figure out what you meant by bad Larry.
Doesn't say it on that their DM screen.
Bad Larry? No, it's right here underneath the cover.
Oh, so you already have the stat block.
Yeah. Alrighty.
Like,
So, pull out my monsters here. I have a printer that makes me so happy. Okay.
It's the little things.
Anybody natural 20? All right. 25 to 20?
Dirty 20.
30 20.
nice.
The dirtiest of 20.
Hate to see that. 15 to 20?
17.
14.
17 and 14. What is your dex score, Aka?
What is my dex score? 1 sec. 19.
19. Okay. That is going to help you out quite a bit.
That's good. I like that. I like getting help.
So, Shay, as this happens, you are going to go first, followed by Aka. Something else is going to happen, and then we're going to start talking a little bit about what's happening with you.
That's good.
Okay.
Shay, in front of you, you see this huge creature rise up, larger than the throne. You saw before almost this backdrop of fungus shift and rise close to 18, 20 feet tall. Massive.
Gonna activate haste.
Okay.
And I'm gonna hit it 3 times.
Go for it.
Like jump on the
That
throne
is
here
a
and do a little
25.
25
make some
hits.
mushroom shish kebabs.
Love shish kebabs, okay. Oh, 6.
That was 6 damage? Awesome. So as a reaction, when you do deal damage to it, it is going to, you can see on this, similar to the clusters of crystals you see around the room, jutting from elements of its body, these crystals, metallic and purple. And as you hit it, some of them shatter and release this element of almost like a powder. It burns your skin, and you're going to take 8 points of poison damage.
I'm gonna use my reaction to protective field on Shay.
Okay.
So
As you begin, you're still picking your way through mold and fungus. You see all of this begin, and as this thing explodes, you're able to
Shay, look out!
elements of the calligraphy, the magic light up from the armor and drift across the space through all of this mold, and seems to almost push this stuff away. How much?
It's 1d6 plus 5 damage off of the 8 or whatever.
Okay.
I rolled a 5.
There you go. So you see this big
Shay, watch
thing.
out!
Yeah. For a moment, it's just, and then as soon as it's about to hit you, it just stops and then seems to get redirected away. You see in this place, almost like wind, this calligraphy-like symbol from Akka.
22.
22 hits.
For 13.
That's fantastic.
Nice.
This is reaction.
And 27.
27 hits.
8.
8. Okay. So as this body gets pulled up and away, you activate haste and you feel the blood begin to pulse in your body. And all of a sudden, you're just tearing into it. You hit it again and again and again. The first strike does cause this mist to appear, but in your hasted form and with Akka's help, you're already kind of on the other side of it. You're able to hit it again. Anything with your bonus action?
Well, my bonus action
All
is
right.
haste, but I'm going to move back so I'm 15 feet behind Akka.
Okay. And you do not provoke attacks of opportunity.
Correct.
Fantastic.
Nice.
Shay, that is your turn. Do you want to pull Shay back so that she's in the hallway behind you? Kind of on the, that would be the steps. So as soon as you strike it, even as this dust is still in the air, you fly away. You see the dust swirl around you in your place. Akka, what would you like to do?
I think I will also hasten myself.
Fantastic. Look at you guys being really fast.
And then can I use a cantrip now as my hasted second action?
So haste is a spell, as an action. You could use a cantrip as a bonus action, I believe.
No, because you get an extra action.
Because I get an extra action. So can I use a cantrip as that extra action on the same turn?
Yes, you could.
Okay,
Yeah. It
cool.
just has to be a cantrip and a spell. You can't do two higher level spells.
Okay, cool. I'm going to go ahead and give this guy a good firebolt to the... Does he have a face?
Not really. From what you can see at a quick glance, you see a seam where the bottom kind of rises and becomes
I'm going for
darker-
that seam.
Sure, I'll go for it. It is where you, Shay, saw this creature disappear like a lure.
All right. That's probably a hit. That's a 26.
26 hits.
All right.
Gesundheit.
Love me a good late level cantrip. Ooh, okay. That's 23 plus 4. 27 points of fire damage
With which?
with firebolt.
With firebolt?
Yeah, 3d10.
Damn, that's impressive.
Yeah,
Roll.
I got a 10, an 8, and a 5. Wait, that's 34. Yeah, no, 24. Sorry,
Okay, that makes more sense. I was gonna say
Whoa.
that makes no sense.
23.
Okay,
There it is.
There we go.
Math
Plus
is
4 is
Math.
27.
yeah, 27.
Which is
Yeah,
not
circle.
Math is just
You're killing me. You're killing
tough.
me.
my.
Okay, hang on.
You know, I have a 20 int.
So, as you gesture towards this thing and the firebolt ripples across the air, it strikes it and the whole thing takes up. You see some of the crystals shatter, but the powder instantly just incinerates. And this creature, it doesn't have a mouth or vocal abilities per se, but you can hear the hiss of air as it escapes. That does more damage than you would expect,
Nice.
for sure.
All right. And then I'm gonna, I guess, bonus action. Give him a little shove towards the
Telekinetic shove?
Yeah, telekinetic shove towards me.
Okay.
Like
What is the DC
into
on
the
that?
chair? 18.
As you reach with your mind and attempt to pull it, you can see like the little toadstools, a couple of them like pop off and go towards you, but the creature does not move.
Okay.
That's a
This is
hefty
bulky.
creature.
Yeah, bulky boy.
Chalky.
Anything else?
We are facing a certified mega chunk.
Heckin' chalk.
No, that's it.
Okay. On its turn, this huge creature is going to lumber forwards. The throne's obliterated as it does. You can see it crawls over one of these massive arms with these long nails, crush it like a gorilla walking.
That's not good.
Splinters across. It gets up right in your face, and this is going to attack you a couple of times.
It's got disadvantage because of haste. Is that what's it do with haste?
Actually,
It
that's a great
increases
one.
your
Your AC.
My
by
AC,
two.
right? My AC by 3, by 2. Okay, I have
You
it.
Yeah.
advantage on dexterity saving throws,
That's the
Okay.
one that I was thinking.
and you can take an extra action on your turn.
Yeah. First attack. That's terrible. That is going to be a 12 to hit. Oh my god, that's a natural one. So this creature, as it is swinging around, you see the little cluster of purple crystals behind it.
Shot hit a moving target.
You can pull the cluster of crystals behind it. Yeah,
This
pull
one?
that off. So as it's swinging around, it steps over the throne. The throne shatters into splinters, and as it's dragging its foot by, it bursts these crystals, kind of releasing the effect harmlessly. It misses both of those strikes. That is really all it can do. That is going to bring us to... Okay, so from where you are, in the back of this room, suddenly for the very first time in what feels like forever, you can feel and hear... it's like explosions at a great distance at first, pulses of sound and little bits of light. And as you struggle to open your eyes, you feel something gummy holding them shut. And as you open them, your eyes sting. You can squint through the crystals that hold you in place, and you can see a massive creature moving. But at the same time, and what is your passive perception?
17.
17? Just barely. You can see the flares of this green magic, and then a creature in green, armor perhaps, just kind of jet up as if they're flying. But there's a lot happening, and then out of the periphery, you can see other creatures at the corner of the room kind of closing in. At the moment, you are considered restrained. What would you like to do?
Can I go into a rage when I'm restrained?
You certainly can.
Okay,
This is
I
a
go
bonus
into a
action.
rage.
Yeah, fantastic. So you rage.
And in doing so, I get to roll on my wild surge table
Yes,
because
you
I'm a
do.
wild magic barbarian.
Oh boy.
Oops, those are d12s. I know I heard that you guys had some fun
Played
with
one of
that.
those once.
So roll 2 and pick 1. So it's a 1 or an 8.
Maybe still alive.
Amazing. Okay, so I'm gonna pick 8. So a bolt of light shoots from my chest, and let's see. Can I see the big
Yeah, oh yeah.
mushroom? Okay, so that creature has to succeed on a Constitution saving throw or take 1d6 radiant damage
Nice.
and be blinded.
Nice.
That's a 16.
Oh, the DC. Yeah, I probably should know that. Hold on, I forget what the DC is. I think it's
a new
17.
character, no worries.
Yeah, DC 17.
17. Okay, so it fails.
Awesome. All right.
That's amazing. So
It's-
as you go into a rage, this swirl of energy coalesces around you, and suddenly you can feel this heat and pressure, and you spread your arms. This bolt of light bursts through the crystals. You can actually remove those if you want, and strikes this creature. Negligible damage, however.
I didn't even.
That is that
I
it was how
missed
much
that the
damage?
first
6?
time.
Surprise. Say it.
That was 6 damage.
It's 1d6, so
Okay.
one damage.
Fantastic. You know what?
Mostly
little bit
absorbed by the
counts.
crystal. And I get to do that every turn
Fantastic.
from now on as a bonus action.
There is a tiny little point of light that you can kind of see and feel. You, in your rage, vaguely aware of it, but every time it pulses, you can see a matching thing just kind of clinging to this creature.
Love it.
Okay.
Am I still restrained or can I move now?
No, you are no longer restrained.
Do I have my axe?
So yeah, all of your equipment currently on you. Nothing has been taken from you.
Okay. All right. Well, I draw my axe and I'm gonna, I guess, go for the big guy.
Sure.
So can you move me 30, 35? I think I can get right up to him.
Yeah, and that puts you in base contact. He's a huge creature.
All right, and I'm just gonna hit him.
There you go.
All right, so that's a dirty 20 to hit.
That hits.
The dirtiest of 20s. All right, and that's gonna be for 12 damage.
12 damage. So, as you, for the very first time in this campaign, leap into a rage, can you describe from the other side what Shay and Akka are seeing?
Okay, so what you see is a gnome with like a long black braid like burst out from where this crystal was. She's got a two-handed battle axe that's like just a little too big for her. She's very small, but she wields it very skillfully. And I guess in her rage, she's like not making a lot of noise, but like it's like a quiet, like just
Sure, quiet fury.
A quiet fury
Love
in
it.
this moment, anyway.
Fantastic. So suddenly, from the bottom of this dark place where you'd seen nothing but rot and ruin, a tiny little gnome goes leaping almost to the height of this creature before bringing the axe down. You've never seen this creature before, for context. Anything else?
Like never seen
You've seen
a
gnomes
gnome.
before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, you've
Never seen this gnome. Like, wait, what about those gnomes that I met?
No, I don't think so. I think I'm all in on just attacking this big mushroom man.
Fantastic. Okay, so these smaller mushroom-like creatures, Akka, the two on the sides, if you could, they just begin to lumber towards you. That one, the one that, you know what? They're all gonna go towards you.
Oh, cool.
Oh, it's
'cause I
blinded as
grabbed
well.
it.
Did I say that?
Unfortunately, because
he
of
can't be
it
blinded,
doesn't
okay.
it doesn't have any eyes.
So is this guy just like splooshing through
pretty
this
important
crystal, or does he go around
So
it?
as he gets to the crystal, you can actually see elements of this fungus kind of part and slide through, and it just like reappears on the other side, leaving like elements of rot behind. But no problem, just like pulls through. Okay.
And this guy, is he just glomming through the big boy?
He is going to get on the other side of the other one, kind of closer to the... Yep, there you go. And then the final one is going to close in from the side. There you are. So these creatures, silent in their approach.
How high up can I be in this room?
35 feet, I believe.
All right, cool,
Give me a second here.
cool,
35 feet.
cool.
They're going to come in, and you're going to take... you're going to take 6 attacks. Alrighty, so...
You got this.
Yeah, no, you'll be fine.
I'll be
The
fine.
first one-
It'll be fine.
18 and 11.
Misses.
Okay. So the first one comes through and swings at you. You use these boots, the little wings, the calligraphy just flickers to life, and you dodge. That's going to be 19 and 22. This one again, and this one actually like reaches up and just slaps you on the ankle.
I
Clang,
slap
right
him
off
back.
of it. Final one. 26.
That's a tie.
Okay, so
26 AC.
that literally. So when you're hasted, they literally have to roll a 19 or a 20 to be able to hit you. It's like almost impossible. That is, and it's not even a lot of damage. That's good. Oh, that's max damage. That's going to be 11 points of bludgeoning damage as it just swings through and hits you.
I'll throw out my reaction and make that whatever this D6 plus 5 is.
Yeah, do that.
How's that for 9 minus? So 2 damage? 2 damage total?
8 through. You confused me. 11. It was 11 total damage.
11 minus 9.
So yeah, 2 points of damage get through. As this thing slams you, you try with all your might, your mind to like stop this, and you can see like the mold rippling on the hand. It still manages to strike you in a way that does hurt, but not nearly as badly. That is their turn. They're not especially good. Shay, you are back on top. Akka, you're up next. Shay, what do you want to do?
I'm many of them are there?
So you see 3 of these smaller ones suddenly like lurch in from the side. One deconstitutes itself and then like reemerges on the other side of the crystal, kind of squirming through holes. You see them just like swinging relatively ineffectively against Akka, and then this big one also kind of right in front.
Cool. I'm gonna start from the right side, and they're all getting a hit, and the big boy's getting 2.
Okay, so is this just like running in a circle around? Fantastic. Okay, so go ahead and we'll do the 3 little guys first, and then the big guy, just for sake of ease.
Great.
That is a 24.
24 hits, yeah.
You want me to just roll and see which one's hit and then roll damage? Or
However you want to do it.
It's a 28
That hits.
and a 19.
19 just hits.
11. 13 for the second one. And 12.
So, to you, even in your rage, suddenly you see this streak of white. And all of a sudden, in like this very, very monk-like garb, although very simple clothes, you see just a blur, a human, an elf, hard to tell because they're already gone. But in their wake, you just see all of the creatures, these smaller creatures, just stumble.
And it was a 26 and a 27 for the 2 on the big guy.
Those hit.
For 11 and 10.
So, yeah, also, you end up on the other side. This creature kind of like turning to try to follow you. You can hear the material,
full circle.
Yeah.
the woody material of its body, almost like as it tries to follow you, but you are far too fast. Unable to even clock you. It really kind of focusing in on Akka.
And I'm backing down the hallway, like...
100 feet. You could go...
Look at it at 30 feet.
It's 70 feet to the front door. So you could actually get outside and then come back inside and downstairs at your front door. That's fair. That's a good point. All right. So you back up. You get like basically right to the edge where the stairs curve up around. And even as you run, those little bees and the honey things, they don't glow to life. You barely touch the steps as you go up. That is your turn. Akka, what do you want to do?
I'm gonna back up
Okay.
while I'm kind of like hypotenuse it this way.
Okay, I see what you're saying. When you just said, I'm going to hypotenuse it, I didn't see your hand move, and I just like...
That's why I did it again.
Yeah, okay, you hypotenuse it. Fair enough. And how far... That is going to pull you out of all of their attack range.
Yeah, I'm gonna use one of my actions to disengage.
Okay, cool.
And then I'm gonna scoot on out of their range, floating up as high as I can without getting goop on my back.
So as you feel all of these creatures pull in, and the first one strikes, you touch down briefly on the ground, and then use that spring momentum to just leap. All of them kind of grabbing ineffectively. You are now how far up? 35 feet?
30 feet, I guess, because I don't want to be too close to the
You don't wanna
ceiling.
be, like just
Yeah, I don't want to be
slouching
like
forward.
up
Fair enough.
against the ceiling. Like
So your head tilted, you're about 30 feet in the air.
okay, and then I'm going to cast a shatter down upon them.
Okay.
So I think if I do right here, I can get these 3. It's a 10-foot radius. If not, I'll just get 2. Focused on the big guy.
No, he's a huge creature, so I believe you can. It's hard for me to see from here,
Yeah.
truthfully. But yeah, as long as I believe that you should be able to, because that's a 3x3 creature, the big one.
Okay, then yeah, I think that's getting these 3 guys
Okay.
with the shatter. And it's a creature takes 3d8 damage on a failed save or half as much on a successful. A creature made of inorganic material such as stone, crystal, or metal has disadvantage on the saving throw.
Yep.
So if they're made of the crystal, I don't know, maybe we'll see. I'm gonna. So yeah, they make a Constitution saving throw.
Bonus points for trying.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
I
a
see
con
crystal.
save, you said?
Yes.
Okay. That is going to be a 12.
Cool.
Yeah, they're not rolling great. Or sorry, 12 for the big guy, and then this is going to hit the other.
Over the last one.
Oh my god.
Go ahead.
That's a 12, a 10, and then one of the little guys got a 22.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Good for him.
He kind of, as Shay hits them all, one of them stumbles down and misses the shatter.
He's like, whoops.
Yeah, exactly. It's because you're 35 feet up, it doesn't quite hit the ground, and so he's safe, you know?
All right.
Momentum.
Exactly. I mean, he's still taking a shit ton of damage, so.
So the first group of... So, yeah, he's going to take 19... Math today.
It's been 2 weeks, so it's tough.
I know. 18 points for failed saves and 9 for the successful save.
Okay, so hang on one sec. Yeah, so this big guy
And they tell
already...
you that math is going to be something you use.
Sorry, one second.
As long as you have access to the word Pythagorean, then you're all set.
I know my
So
hypotenuse.
hypotenuse right now.
Aka,
A squared plus B squared.
Aka, you fly up in the air, and as you get to the top, as your momentum slows, you cast Shatter down. The streak of calligraphy stretches down multiple characters, just kind of unraveling like ribbons. And as they hit down, there's this loud crack. The splinters of the wood ripple out. You can see the stone, all those little mushrooms like shatter across it. You see these beautiful pavers that are these delicate elements of maybe porcelain or ceramic that these golden and green patterns are etched into. All of them just kind of like shattering across. As far as you could tell, none of these creatures inorganic. They are made out of living, rotting material.
Worth a shot.
That
Saw a
being
couple
said-
crystalline structures on that one.
That-
bonus damage for trying.
That being said, what I will say is from the top, now that you're flying above and you can look down, in each of these creatures, there is elements to them that seem almost like there's something weird about them for sure that you get out of that. Yeah, they're definitely not crystal creatures. But good try.
Okay.
Anything else?
That was my 2 actions. I guess I'm gonna bonus action shove them again.
Which one?
Actually, I'll probably shove the small one
Okay.
over here.
Yeah.
I forgot that I have extra attack.
That's a natural one, so you can go ahead and just push him back. And if
So
you
is
want,
he like in the spikies?
just knock him prone in the spikies. Yeah, he is not hurt by the spikies, but he's prone in the spikies. So this guy, as he like squirms through it and reconstitutes,
Just like that.
suddenly you shove him telepathically, and he kind of like falls back into the crystals. Parts of him like parting around them. Akka, that is your turn. That brings us to this large guy. You are actually in striking range.
Damn,
He is
he's
going
got some
to.
big reach.
Well, he's like 25
like
feet
taking
tall.
up,
He has
yeah,
10 foot
takes
reach,
up the whole room.
It's kind of like I built the room so he could reach you on the ceiling.
So
Does
is
he fly a
is
lot?
he coming like this way to get me? I'm like up here.
If you are back at the doorway, he's going to move
Joe learning that they
15 feet forwards. So yeah, 15 feet towards.
What have we done?
Brum.
I had 2 weeks to think.
All right, he's like at the bottom of the stairs, but he
Yes.
can't be at the bottom because he's too big boy.
Yeah, and he's going to take his first attack against you. That is a natural 20.
That is
So that's 28 to hit.
reaction. I'm gonna make it miss with my 31 because I'm gonna use shield as my reaction.
It is a natural 20. I feel like using shield in a reaction to that.
It's not going to negate the hit necessarily.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why don't you hold on to that shield?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll hold on to it. I'll probably need it for.
So
We get
the
downed
the
by
bright
this.
side is it's not a ton of damage.
But also make a con save or something.
No, hang on. So you were taking 28 points of bludgeoning damage.
That's not too bad.
No, considering it was a critical, no, absolutely not. The second attack is a 27 to hit.
That one I'll go ahead and use
Fantastic.
the reaction on.
So as you fly up, you cast Shatter down, and it cracks across the room. As that reverberates in your ears, this creature surges forward, and as it reaches, you hear elements of this rot, like tear. The arm stretches almost grotesquely out to hit you. The whole of that momentum, all of it hits you against the ceiling like a Clayface style hit. Parts of the organic matter splitting around it against the ceiling. Then as it pulls away, it goes to strike you again. You fall more than dodge, but you don't get hit by the second one. That is its turn.
SWAT.
That actually helps you a tremendous amount. You don't know how much that helped you.
That's good.
That is its turn. That brings us to... and remind me again, is it Brenna?
Brenna, yeah.
Brenna, okay. Brenna, what would you like to do?
Well, Brenna forgot that she had an extra attack because...
Because you're raging.
So, all right, and additionally, seeing the person who she's decided is her new friend fly up in the air reminded her that she can also fly. So she's gonna take off using her winged boots, and my goal is just to land on top of the big boy and just keep hitting him.
Sure.
I think so. Do that, and then going to attack twice this time instead of just once. That's a natural 1.
Okay.
So that doesn't go very well.
No, it doesn't. So when you see this blur of green go up and you see the spell cast down, it happens very quickly. It's like a pursuit instinct. You just take off after Akka, and already kind of as you're looking there, you look down and try to strike. As you come down with your axe, parts of this thing split. You can see like the organic matter, and as the axe comes down, it finds the skull of this desiccated creature on the inside. The whole skull splits, the first 3 or 4 vertebrae down, and then this whole creature back in, and you have to struggle to get out. You are now on the ground in front of it, not
Okay.
prone.
That's good. That's good. All right, I'll well, that makes me even madder, so I'm gonna have to use my extra attack and try
you go.
again. That's another natural 1.
Are you serious?
And
So as you come down, it's just you split this creature's skull in half. You pull your axe out, furious. You just take your axe and fling it. Roll a d4 for me, please.
3.
What's your strength? It's like
20. It's plus
Yeah.
5.
so. Where the throne currently is, your axe comes skidding to a stop, kind of falling into a crack made by Akka's shatter. There you go. Yeah, perfect.
That's sad. All right. For my bonus action, this is just not going that well, but at least I can still shoot my bolt of light out of my chest. So another con save for the big boy.
Fantastic. That is going to be a really low score. 14.
All right, so it's DC 17, so he takes 1d6. So that's 4 radiant damage.
All right, you're starting to look pretty hurt. You fly up in the air, and there's this moment where even through your rage, you're like, this is pretty cool. You bring the axe two-handed down. It basically misses everything but this weird creature on the inside. And then you fling your axe, and as you see it go wide, there's like nothing else to do. Your fist shaking. You just like burst this radiant light. How much damage was that? You said it was 2
4
right?
damage.
4 damage. So then, yeah, okay.
Man, this does not scale well.
So like the wild magic surges.
Yeah. It's cool, but not
There-
super effective.
There are cool utility things that you can
Yeah.
get out of it, for sure. So, anything else?
No, I think that's it. I think I'm out of stuff to do.
That brings us to these smaller creatures. The 2 that are knocked over are going to use half their movement to stand. And they're going to use the remaining 5 feet for him and 10 feet for the other one to close in on this tiny little creature that they now see.
this one here.
Yep.
Blop, 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 blop.
And as Akka is out of reach of the smaller ones, Brenna, you're taking attacks from all of them.
Bring it up. Bring it on.
Yeah, you're raging. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be awesome.
Oh boy.
First one is going to be a 18 and a 19 to hit.
Both of those hit. Am I at max health currently?
Yes, you
Seems unlikely, but all right.
Yeah, it's nicer for you to have a max health. And it actually does make sense in terms of what was happening.
Yeah. That's
But, okay, so those both hit, you said?
Yep.
Oh, fantastic.
Don't forget my resistance, Joe.
Oh yeah, no, I know. You are going to take 8 points of bludgeoning damage as well as 10 points of bludgeoning damage. Second one, that is a 25 and a 17. Those both hit as well?
Those both hit, yeah.
That is going to be 9 points of bludgeoning damage and 10 points of bludgeoning damage again. And the third guy, that is a 21 and a 21 to hit. So 4 points of bludgeoning damage and 9 points of bludgeoning damage. That last guy getting through the crystals, he goes to swing, the arm just falls off and it hits you in the chest and slithers back up before back onto his arm. He's not doing his best, but that is all of their attacks. That brings us to the top of the round. Shay, what would you like to do? Akka, you're on deck. Shay, to your perspective, you see this little gnome leap over the creature, throw his axe like over the creature, and then just like fire a burst of light out of their chest. Now just standing and getting wailed on by all these little mushroom things. You actually can't see her anymore. It's like everybody just closing in and just striking repeatedly.
Okay. Well, that'll work out, I'm sure. Are they all still accessible from this location, or are they kind of bunched up?
They're all bunched up.
Okay. Is it 2 in the doorway?
Right now, I believe there's 1 in the doorway.
2 ganged up on the little gnome. The big boy kind of just looming over everything.
The doorway's 10 feet
And then
wide.
this guy is...
Aka's standing on one side.
The third one's on the... Probably scooting back.
There's 1 in the doorway, and then Aka's above the empty space on the other side of the door.
Okay. The one in the doorway is getting hit 3 times.
Okay, fantastic.
For a 25?
25 hits.
So that's the one that's flanking
8.
the small gnome.
Yes.
25 again.
Okay.
For 12.
Okay, so as you eat, so without even taking the third hit, the first hit kind of strikes it like right below the knee, and from where you're about to get hit from behind, suddenly you just feel these weird kind of like, it's almost like a caress as it falls to the side. As it slumps down, Shay, you spin around and kick it, the whole head just detaching. As that happens, it is going to, I need everybody within 5 feet, so that's going to be not Akka. So the 2 of you need to make a dexterity saving throw, please.
I have advantage on these. That's 2 18s. 21.
21 is a success.
I would have liked these 2 18s earlier instead of the ones.
Yeah.
28 is a success as well. So as this thing, you kick the head off, suddenly this headless body shakes and wobbles in a weird way before, like, you see a balloon, and then it just pops. You see spores in the air, and having seen this already once, you kind of cover your mouth. For you, you're just too mad. You get hit by it, and it just doesn't do anything to you. Yeah. So you still have 1 attack left, I believe.
Well, technically I have a whole action and a bonus action.
That's true. Yeah, sorry, you're hasted, yeah.
In a somewhat outwardly uncharacteristic fit of anger, I'm just gonna get almost like clenched fist and just release it and use a guiding bolt against the big one.
Oh, fantastic.
Guiding
okay,
bolt.
yeah, roll your attack.
Here we go.
26.
26 hits. So many dice.
That's satisfying.
It is 11.
11, you said?
Yes.
Okay.
Radiant damage.
So as you make this fist, you can see these lightning-like scars that you earn from being able to actually pick up the breaker flare to life and seem to extinguish as that light concentrates on your fist and then erupts towards this creature. And suddenly the entire chamber is bathed in daylight as this creature glows. Yeah.
And then is he the closest creature to me?
Currently, yes. I think technically him and the mushroom to the right of Akka are about equidistant, but he's so large.
tend to take advantage of the advantage on this attack.
Yeah, there you go.
Nice.
So why not? That is a 23.
23 hits.
Or 9.
9. Okay. Anything else?
And making my way back up.
So you slide down the stairs, guiding bolt, run up, and it's almost like an uppercut, and you can feel your fist go up and tear into it. And as you pull away, it already kind of begins to reform. But it doesn't have any of its crystals. Okay. Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Okay, what would you like to do?
So I'm gonna use one of my actions to telekinetic movement the
There you go.
axe, kind of like through this dude's. Maybe he gets whacked by it on the way.
So, Anka, from your perspective up high, you can see the axe go flying over the shoulder. You see it and come to a stop kind of in this crack. You hold out a hand and like symbolically move it as this axe then back. For you, you hear it, and it being your axe, your eyes are kind of drawn down. You pick up your foot and just
like,
stop.
"Look out!"
And it comes to a stop right at your feet.
Simultaneously firebolt down onto
Yeah,
this
go for
guy.
it. Roll your attack.
Natural 20.
Very nice. Roll damage on that. It's going to be a lot of damage.
Yeah, that's double dice, right?
It's doubled from the crit, and then it's vulnerable to fire, so it's doubled after that as well.
Hell yeah.
It's gonna be a big ouchie.
Actually, so that doubles your crit and with the modifier because it's vulnerable. So
double
it doubles all
ouchies.
damage, yeah.
Oh, double ouchies.
So you just doubled the
You roll
dice.
it, like, you double
Yeah.
whatever you give them.
All right, so that's 18 plus 4, 22 base damage of fire damage.
Tell us how it happens.
Just like on the top of this, do my little painter squiggle, little fire, and then like down onto the top of his head, and it just like catches on fire, and the whole top of it, and he just kind of burns down through the ground.
Sorry. In the air, you trace this beautiful calligraphy symbol that seems to almost burn from the end that you start on, and before it's finished, the entire thing, just a sigil of flame. And as you push it downwards, it erupts across and kind of burns. You see the toadstools popping and burning away. And you see like an element of the creature shift, and it has no eyes, but almost as if it looks up at you, but silently, it just dies and broils to the ground. However, oh no, he doesn't have to do that. That's fantastic. Yeah, he's just dead. The area in that area is difficult terrain. He's a 20-foot tall mound of fungus. So you can just leave him there. However, that is your turn. Anything else?
I've used my 2 actions. I guess bonus action, I'm gonna shove one of the little guys.
Okay.
I guess I'll shove this one back because this one was the one that beat. Yeah, so I'm gonna shove the other one that was flanking.
Yeah, he gets shoved back.
Sploosh into this.
Just kind of halfway into the crystals.
Great. It's action, bonus action. Yeah, and I guess I'm out of range of everything now, so I'm good.
There you go, Brenna. You see suddenly this glowing creature. It flares to life like daylight before suddenly extinguishing as it's hit by Shay, who vanishes. And then the entire thing is just engulfed from the top down like a brush fire. The smell is that of like burning hair and just rot. Over top with some kind of really unfortunate sweetness. But it is your turn. You can still see there are 2 of these creatures left. One now kind of like pulling itself out of these crystals. What would you like to do?
I'll pick up my axe and turn to. It looks like I'm kind of standing right next to one, so I'll just turn to face that guy and just hit him. That's a 19 to hit.
19 hits.
All right, for 16 damage.
And that's the one in the doorway, right?
This
Yeah.
one here, yeah, that Shay smacked about.
So yeah, this one already looking hurt. You saw the leg kind of get kicked out from it, and as it like struggles to pull itself off, the axe that you stopped with your foot, you kind of put your toe underneath and kick it up into your hand and just slice the head clean off. It is going to explode. I do need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Dirty 20.
You're fine.
Yeah,
As it's like,
fine.
you just seem to already just fading out of its range.
It's like you're in the perfume department and they're
You're just dodging all the free samples.
they're just like hitting you and you're like,
Brenna, anything else?
Yes, I'm going to now turn my attention to this one here. I'm gonna. Have I moved yet? I haven't moved yet.
No,
Yeah, I'm
no.
gonna move toward him and hit him with my extra attack. That's gonna be a 9 to hit.
9 misses, unfortunately.
All right. Well, I'm annoyed by that, so I'm gonna shoot my bolts of light at him.
There you go.
Con saving throw DC 17.
That is going to be a success at 23.
Does this one have eyes?
They do not. They're all, as far as you could tell, none of them have eyes.
All right. And then before I end my turn, I turn to Akka and just like give him the nod.
I'm like, I don't say anything.
It's a nod, but it's like an angry looking
Yeah.
nod. Yeah.
I'm like,
It was supposed to be like a thank you, but she's too mad to really like
size
make
that
it.
up once the threat is over.
That is your turn. That brings us to the 2 who are remaining. That one's going to pull itself off the crystals. They're not real smart creatures. They're just going to lurch forwards towards this tiny gnome and continue to wail on you. The first one swings. That is going to be a 16 and a 12.
Neither hits.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
All right. The second 2. That's going to be a 12 and a 10.
Thankfully, neither of those hit either.
You kind of turn to Akka and you nod, even as you're like dodging blows from this creature. And now that this larger creature is dead, it does seem as if there is a little bit more of a listlessness about them. But that is their turn. That brings us to you, Shay. Up at the top, you can see and smell the flame and smoke, this oily, thick smoke rising now up the stairwell.
Are they the 2 that are up are both in the doorway, or no?
No, one is visible through the doorway. The other one kind of just off the side.
There's one like in the doorway, and then
Yeah.
the other one was like coming towards the doorway.
Okay. The one
I'm, like,
in the
up here.
doorway is gonna take a while.
There you go.
I think it'll probably be like 2 or 3.
23 hits.
13.
Oh, all right. It's still up, but it's looking real rough.
27.
27 hits.
9.
So this one, the first punch embeds itself in the flesh, and you can see it begins to like still lurch for you with these weird, almost like it's like hardened organic material instead of claws. But as it kind of strikes out, you just rip whatever you can find inside of it away, and it just sloughs in half. That one's gone.
Gonna redirect the other 3 on us.
There you go.
Just jumping over the gnome.
19
19 hits, just barely.
or 8.
Utter catastrophe.
23.
23 hits.
12.
There we go.
So with this particular strike, this final creature I had to like pull itself together multiple times now at this point, just barely hanging on. You see like elements falling away. Within, it has 1 hit point left. You can see, go ahead and roll your attack. You see elements of a humanoid skeleton.
24.
24 hits, and that's you can roll for damage if you want.
Now you don't
Tell us
see.
how it
Max
happens.
damage.
You no
Tell
longer
us how
see
it
the
happens.
skeleton.
Just kind of dissolves and bubbles.
Just,
Skeleton rises up like children.
it's a single strike, all of the organic material off of it. The skeleton stands for just a second. But in this moment, I'm going to take you guys out of combat because there does not seem to be any particular threats. Give me
Man, that
one
was a
second.
gooey fight.
I think we've had worse.
I'm sure.
In terms of gross ones?
Yeah.
I mean, when Gunter was around, definitely.
Yeah, but that wasn't
Every
the
day
monsters.
was just a gooey fight.
That was you.
There was a lot of eggs.
There's one real bad egg.
Eggs were fine until there was that one egg.
Until that one time they weren't.
And now I can't have eggs ever again.
You know, well, you're Akano. You can give
I
them
can have
eggs.
as many eggs as I want now.
You will find yourselves now coming down from that intense combat, especially with both of you hasted. You're in this moment of just the sheer adrenaline surges through you. For you, your rage kind of coming to an end, you are suddenly aware of the fact that you are within this room that you had previously seen other things happen in. You see an elf. I mean, you could describe yourself if you want.
Yeah, I guess kind of like a coppery elf with dark brown, like kind of wild hair, wearing a sleek set of armor. It's like kind of an eerie green glow. And what else? Oh, he's got a cool cloak too.
That is
But
cool.
cool
It is
green
important.
cloak.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's what you see for the most part.
And then Shay?
Human dressed all in white, but in what is closest described as like Eastern monk getup, with this very long lightning like scar up her right arm, and bright gold eyes.
And you see in the middle this huge pile of rot just kind of sloughing off. There are, in each of these creatures, as this organic material dies down, you do see it kind of almost become part of the floor very quickly. There are corpses left over. And amongst the 3 or 4 that you see from these creatures, you see an additional one. One roughly in the place of somebody that you once knew. You see... A second here.
Can't remember his name.
Oh gosh, I hate my mouse so much.
Is it Jeff?
It's not Jeff.
It's always Jeff.
It's not Jeff.
Or Carl.
You see
Surprised there
the
aren't many.
corpse of perhaps a dwarf, still on the ground. Just bones with leathery scraps of skin protruding from the mound of purple and mold around him. You can see, even in the skeletal fingers, untouched by mold, a scrap of purple fabric. Though the faintest tinge of orange can be seen where the fabric is ripped, and the dye is not penetrated. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna walk over and just kind of like sit next to him and take the piece of fabric. Is this from clothing of an individual that I saw earlier?
Yes.
Okay.
So you can tell very quickly the 2 individuals who appeared and were speaking.
Okay. So I'm gonna sit and I'm gonna take the piece of fabric, and then without looking at Shayanaka, I'm gonna say, "Thank you guys. You're clearly very handy in a fight." And then I'm just gonna be sad for a second.
I'm gonna like kind of cautiously, like I had my next firebolt aimed just in case, but that kind of caught me off guard. I'm kind of like, no problem. Are you? What are you doing here?
So she goes, my name is Brenna. Did you see anyone else on your way in?
Did we see anyone else?
When you walked into the space, it was just covered in rot. Even like the Zerg creep around it, like just mold radiating out from it like tendrils of disease going through veins in the earth itself. No real people.
No, sorry. We're just kind of here for, I guess, extermination crew. I gotta get some more. Shay, you got this? I'm gonna like float and just start like shattering the crystals and just kind of like, clearing the room of all the rot.
While they're talking, I kind of want to be walking around looking for the source of said infection.
Okay. Make an investigation check. For you, no problem. You can shatter these crystals. One thing that you do notice, even as you do... Just
Well, I guess, sorry. I'm shattering them with firebolts
Okay.
because cantrip.
Fair enough. So in that case, you see the fire just up through the clouds that are made by these crystals, and they leave no cloud behind. You'd imagine fire a very effective way, and you've already seen fire a good way to clear the rot associated with these creatures.
I'm going to do a controlled burn of the inside of this tree
Okay.
to, get rid of the rot spots.
It is a tree, an old, dried-out tree made of wood. So if you want to do a controlled burn,
Yeah, I'm careful with it.
go ahead and make a sleight of hand check.
Carefully doing this with my sleight of hand.
With a 15, it's a very, very strange sensation. But you're all
23.
23. As you see Akka kind of just burning away little elements, and you can see just flying, almost like a blowtorch, like carving these swaths away. There's an element to the wood itself that seems suffused with these things. The spores, whatever it is, almost like if you were to get close enough, you can see little cilia that seem to spread out. You would imagine, regardless of to what the source is, this is going to be able to continue to reproduce so long as it stands. To remove the infection, you probably need to remove the tree. Akka, you make it like 10 feet beyond, and Shay, you already see the very end beginning to creep and crawl back.
Akka, burn it.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Brent,
Extra fireball.
Are you still keeping it as controlled as possible here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm basically like Charmeleon.
Okay.
Just
Fair enough.
continuous like firebolt flamethrower in controlled spots.
Sure.
I just kind of point and click.
So you watch as Akka continues to try to burn away these small patches.
Pokemon, not a sponsor.
Doesn't seem to be doing too much. At a quick guess, at this pace, you're thinking on the time frame of weeks, not days, not hours, not minutes.
Brenna stands up, and she's kind of pulled herself together by now, and she says, my friend died here today, but I have 2 more that I need to rescue. You both seem like you can handle yourselves. Will you help me?
Yeah, thanks. Shay?
I think we can help each other, I say. There we go.
In exchange, this entire thing needs to come down.
What, the tree?
Yes.
I'm on board. Let's do it. And I take one last look at the corpse of the dwarf, whose name is Belrig. It's pretty much rotted away, right? There's no, I have the piece of fabric, but there's no, memento or anything.
there's fingers.
Some stuff in there.
Oh, the fingers.
Even with the mold kind of crawling across him, you can see there seems to be a little pouch. He's still wearing clothing, just very loose over the bones. I will say it's bones, but there is belongings.
Jeez, I have no idea how long I've been here now that I'm thinking of it.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
If you were to look for something a little bit more obvious in terms of something like a memento,
Yeah.
you do see loose around the very thin kind of reeds that are left of the beard, there's a silver ring shaped to look like a smith's hammer bent in on itself. You could take that.
Okay. Respectfully, I take it. Can I wear it on my hand?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
yeah. So for that beard ring for a gnome, yeah, it's like a slightly loose bracelet.
Okay. So I take that, and then I stand up and I say, "Let's go," and I walk out of the tree.
Light it up, Akka.
So what? I'm
All of it's gotta come down.
all of it?
All of it.
The whole tree? I thought we were... Seeing the expanse of tree and shroom in front of me,
Sure.
and knowing my firebolt capabilities, which are more or less endless, but also not a huge amount of fire per
Yeah, even
per
turning
bolt.
around, you don't see evidence of your first firebolts.
Shay,
Yeah.
kind of feels like I'm, pouring buckets out of a sinking ship. So,
Open to suggestions.
Can I use magic awareness to see if I can figure out if there's some sort of like thing that is causing the rot to be able to grow back? Some sort of like item that needs to be destroyed.
So magic awareness, if you remind me what that is again.
It's basically detect magic, but like barbarian style. So
You've got torches all around with you.
firebolt, firebolt, firebolt.
You see glowing, Akka and Shay both have powerful magic items. And actually, point of fact, from Shay, it almost radiates multiple very powerful items on her. That being said, hang on, I gotta read the wording of that, because that
yeah,
an
it's not...
question.
I actually think it might just be for items, in which case that may not make a lot of sense.
Let's take a quick look here.
You know the location of any spell or magic item within 60 feet that isn't behind total cover.
Okay.
What if detect magic, but terrible?
The only real magic that you're seeing is kind of on the two people here. Otherwise, there is no real magic to the room. You see faint bits of magic if you were to get close to the stairs. That makes these little patterns light up. But aside from that, relatively mundane.
I guess I'm gonna kind of take stock of the situation.
Okay.
This seems, like I said, this is useless. Structurally, is there any way that we could like the interior of the tree is largely dug out, right?
Correct, yeah. There are like little platforms and things like that. You guys didn't go up necessarily. But...
Okay. But presumably, there's got to be some way to kind of cleave it the rest of the way at the points where this interior structure is, right?
Sure. Yeah.
I guess I'm gonna cautiously explore. There are no doors off of this room, correct?
The throne room?
Yeah.
No. So sorry. There's just walls going around there. I didn't add the walls in just because I didn't.
So there's just the exit here, and then up the stairs there was left and right.
Correct. So up the stairs, there's kind of it's just a larger space, and then there's kind of different platforms up above. There are no stairs. This was designed for pixies, and they can fly.
Right.
So you just
ramp.
See there's no ramps.
Well,
it's not a very accessible
tunnel on the hypotenuse.
Yeah, straight up.
Yeah.
Roughly about it's a very tall tree.
Okay. That doesn't. Yeah, I don't know.
Of these creatures, what's left of them? Is it like body parts?
Make a medicine check.
Goo? Is it...
You see large heaps of this rot, but there is other things within.
Not very good. It's a 16?
You get closer to one. And looking at it without touching it, because you get the sense that touching it's not the best thing to do. There are bones. And then you recognize, elements of clothing. You can see one of these creatures, certainly, elements of squalls and villager style clothing. Go over to the other. Again, some kind of clothing, not something familiar to you, sort of a reddish cast, seems like a tunic, relatively low quality, but hard to tell because it's so rotted and molded. The final one, you see almost kind of, to you, it is a metallic fabric that you have not seen before. It's like a black color shifting fabric, just a swatch of it.
You said there was a left and a right back down the hall?
So if you
I
were to,
said that.
Yeah, that's right. If you were to go upstairs, there's just a large interior space, the open tree kind of up above you.
Akka, come here.
Kind of float down. Yeah.
What are you this and I'll point it out.
What do I make of this?
Make a history check.
Jumanjis. That's like a 14, I think.
A 14. You see a kind of gear that you've not seen prior. The second one that you see, you've actually seen people wearing relatively similar gear. These are people from somewhere far to the south, a continent called Mithelstreen, across the Boiling Sea. Weird to see it here. You barely see it in Dungannon, and even in Dungannon, you would see it in the open marketplace to the south on the road to Port Zeiss. It's not. It's very uncommon here.
Huh. Well, not necessarily in the Feywild, but from where we came within the
that's a good
Feywild.
point, yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna point to the Mithelstreen and say, like, that's from Mithelstreen. I don't know the other one.
Brenna kind of like comes over to join them with all the social awareness of a classic barbarian, and also takes a look. Do
Make a
I?
history check.
Oh, hey. Oh.
12.
12. There is one thing that you do notice. You see this color shifting fabric. This would be something worn by... Oh, gosh. I wrote all this lore last week.
Jeff?
Where you are from, there is an order of magic users.
The choir get something.
The Choir of the Cracked Crystal.
Yeah, them. I have it here.
That is the kind of garment that they would wear. At least their kind of material. It's so rotted, hard to tell exactly what it is, but elements like that.
Oh, so this is like basically from my neck of the woods.
Potentially.
I recognize this, I say.
You recognize the material.
The material.
Oh.
Yeah, this is something that these really powerful magic users in my hometown would wear. I have no idea why one of them would be here in this tree, though.
Where is your hometown?
Oh, right. That might be good to say. I'm from a town called... Help me with the pronunciation.
I gotta rate this.
Gomjarin?
I gotta pull up something.
We'll call it Gomjarin for now.
Having heard it, do I know it?
No. This is something that you have never heard of. But I will say, make a history check. In terms of just the phonetics of it.
Okay, that's good. That's a 23.
In your work with the Dungannon Antiquities Collective, you have come across a number of... You've read about a number of stone giant artworks and artifacts. They're great artisans from the First Age.
Okay.
And that word has connotations of undercommon. Not giant, but undercommon, which was used by giants to a certain extent.
Okay.
Never heard of that as a place.
Okay.
Right. At this point, I think Brenna,
Make a
like,
history check if
clocks
you want,
that,
but
like,
as far as you can tell, it's
Kind of like,
nobody's inside her head. So Brenna goes, so I'm a gnome, like a deep gnome, you know, from the Underdark. And you probably wouldn't have heard of this town that I'm from. But this guy, and I point to the dude on the ground with familiar fabric, is definitely from somewhere around there.
okay. I don't speak Undercommon, but we actually had quite a time with some deep gnomes, didn't we?
They weren't gnomes, as I recall.
What, we all look the
What are
same
you
to
talking
you?
about?
I thought the Grey Lady was a...
They were. I can see the confusion. They were Duragar.
Oh. Got my...
Very different.
Got my
Wow.
Underdark.
All Underdark short
Yeah.
people look the same to you.
Racist.
So deep gnomes can have a variety of skin colors, but Duragar almost universally gray skin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't worry, Brenna says. I don't really like gnomes either.
Nothing against gnomes. Just not super familiar.
Just a little traumatized by the last incident, obviously. So if you're from there, what are you doing here?
So, like I said, I don't really like gnomes. I left my hometown because all they cared about was magic and tinkering with stuff, and you know, I pursued a different path, and she kind of like pats her axe. So I've been traveling all over the world with, you know, my friends, and like I said, I really need your help to help them. But you know, first we got to figure out what to do in this tree.
Like, Shay?
Walk over.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep just like poking at the body while they talk.
Sure.
Look, I feel bad, but like, we kind of have like a lot to do.
But if it's on the way.
If it's on the way, that's what I'm saying. It's like, I say we assist as long as our interests align, and you know.
Well, certainly there are more pressing matters.
That's, yeah, okay. As long as we're on the same page, just, yeah, okay.
Turn this into a whole side quest.
Okay, great, cool. Because I really want to get this over with, you know. Don't even really need a resurrection stone.
No.
Anyway, yeah, let's burn this down, figure out something. Burning's not gonna work. So I don't know. Do you
Well, I was
either have?
originally looking at the mess of the monster, as you so clearly indicated it is weak to fire.
Yeah, but
Smear it on the walls potentially would help us in accelerate.
Napalm. I love that.
Is the outside of the tree still just a tree?
Are you going to go outside and take a look?
Oh, well, I guess if I don't remember what it looked like on the way in.
So when you walked in, the outside of this place was a tree. You saw elements that looked kind of like a beehive attached to it. You didn't see any of this rotten stuff.
Okay. I say maybe we should burn it like from the outside. Maybe that'll be better.
yeah, I guess I would like. Does it make more sense to burn it from the outside or from the inside? Like, should I try to just be like shattering the ends, like the exterior wall of the structure, but not get? I don't want to get crushed.
So Matt, I just want to reframe that for you. You said, should I burn this while I'm inside of it or outside of it? I am not going to answer that question for you.
Should I burn the interior or the exterior?
This is how creates character builder.
You're asking me an opinion question that I can't really answer for you.
I guess, okay. Structurally speaking, what is the best way to demolish this large
Make a flat
tree?
intelligence check. 14. You look around and you do see from within elements that would indicate some kind of structural integrity, like pillar-like things that hold up elements of these kind of shelves that go out. There are no stairs, but there are support structures.
Okay.
So you'd imagine if you were to stay inside, yeah, you could just burst all those down. It's going to be, from where you would need to be to reach the majority of them, you're going to have to be like dead center of the tree. So that's a 35-foot sprint out as it collapses. But yeah,
Yeah.
that exists. That's an option.
35. That's my walking speed, so.
Hasty dash out.
All right. Well, this isn't working. Let's reconvene outside and think of something. I'm just gonna fly through the pixie hole on my way out. You know. It's like I'll meet you out there.
You just kind of pop through a side window. You save a good 30 seconds on that. Are the two of you going?
I'll follow. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. I also kind of want to check out the rest of the castle before he burns it down.
This is a tall structure, and the majority of it very much kind of sagging with rot. So to get there would take some time to like kind of go from level to level, even for you. But you certainly can, and there is elements of kind of like shifting and these weird sort of shadows up above. I would say if you want to do it, make an acrobatics check.
I'm curious now.
Yeah.
Shay, comment up.
22.
Shay, you come in through the door, you see the white figure just twitch down for a second and then up, gone.
I always love making plans that we follow through on.
Shay, you kind of hear Akka's voice as you go further. It's like a first leap, like 30 feet over to the side. You touch down, and as you do, you can hear the wood like snap, and you're already moving, but this is weakened structure. You jump up 30 feet and then another 30, and at about 60 feet up, there's this large, almost like a shelf. About 60 feet total in like a radius. Was that from the center when you go out?
Yeah.
All along the wall, you can see these like 3 rows, like pustules, but the size of roughly humanoid creatures, similar to the ones that you saw. Shorter elements of those same kind of crystals growing across to secure them in place. You count 5, 10, 15, and here and there you can still see elements of humanoid creatures. You see some smaller, some larger, and without getting closer, hard to kind of tell what you're seeing.
Anything else of note?
Roughly 30 of these things.
And it just looks like it keeps going up. Same idea, or is that near the top?
Going up, you see other kind of shelves. They look more like probably just covered in rot. It like the whole tree is almost kind of beginning to collapse under this stuff anyways.
Sure. Okay, then I'll jump out the nearest one.
Okay.
I'm just waiting out there, floating a little
80
bit.
feet
just
up,
kinda like-
you can see like this kind of thin veneer of purple rot that's come down, and suddenly Shay just right through it, like a curtain of rot that like ripples around her, and then just alights 65 feet below.
You know, most people usually use the front door.
It says Akka, who just went out a different window.
No, I went through the front door. I went up the pixie chute.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, that's what I said, the pixie chute.
You seem awfully picky.
It was a joke. Huh.
Brenna humors him with a little chuckle.
So, how... I'm looking up at this giant tree.
Mm-hmm.
Is it like... It's like a large tree, right?
So Sun Honey, I believe, is 95 feet tall.
Okay,
One
so
second.
that's like a fairly large tree. About the height of
If it matters,
a
it is
California
97 feet
palm.
tall.
Okay.
That's specific.
It is already beginning to sag near the top with the weight of the rot in it, so it needs to.
So we're just gonna... What? You want me to just start at the top and work my way down? It's gonna take a while.
Perhaps we can find something else that's explosive. It is the Feywild.
I'm looking through my items. I don't know if I've got it. What's the Ortiz's vials? Ortudes?
Ortude's vials from all the way at the very beginning of the campaign?
No, Ortiz. The one of the Durgar.
Ortiz.
Ortiz.
Yes.
Yeah, I wrote it as Ortiz.
Oh,
but it
yeah.
is-
Yeah, you have the vials from that. You would imagine those will explode.
Okay, cool.
How many of those do you have?
3.
Oh, yeah. Those are...
Cool. They're all the same explosive.
Yeah, that's what I
My
was saying.
thought is to make use of the creatures inside.
I just had a flash of genius, and I pull out these vials. I think one of these bad Larrys will take this whole tree down. But are we sure that... I mean...
There's nothing structurally sound, and from what I can gather, there appear to be more of those creatures growing.
Why were you guys here in the first place?
So, interesting to note, because you are now outside, the entirety of the landscape is different than when you first came in. So
Like-
the tree totally shifted, covered in rot, like falling in on itself. It looks like, compared to the jack-o'-lantern that it was, of just like these little carvings of doors and all these different like openings, It's like after, it's like now about Thanksgiving where the pumpkin is like falling in on itself
damn.
and beginning to mold. You can see the grass, once vibrant green gold, now dead, about 50 feet radiating away from the tree. And you see this beautiful spring that was once this miraculous, beautiful water, just completely molded over, almost no water left. It's like a putrid pond, probably about 70 feet further. And then beyond that, you see trees.
Oh, damn.
Elms, pines.
As I take this in, I say, I think I've been here for a lot longer than I thought. And I think my friends are long gone at this point, and she just kind of like chews on that for a minute.
Ooh. Don't know how to... Shay, I'm gonna go plant these around the base, and we'll ignite them all at the same time, I think. Do controlled demolition. But, I don't know, can you, like, see if you can find, like, a seed to replace it with or something? I feel like that's something, you know, the Feywild's really shifty. I feel like Azalian's gonna probably try to, you know, pull a fast one if we don't, like, replace the thing that we're destroying. I don't know, dude. I feel like that...
I'm already off.
I don't know.
Looking for a seed.
That elf gave me some vibes.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go plant these. Maybe you figure out who this gnome is. All right.
Go ahead and make a survival check if you're going to be foraging for seeds. Okay. Give me 1 second. With a 19. Okay, roll a d8.
7.
Shay, you... Okay, hang on 1 second. That's the best thing you could have rolled. Shay, you walk for a little bit, kind of picking through the snow, away from where the rod is, grateful to be in this cold environment, kind of feeling the winter on your skin. Very familiar even in this strange place. And you come upon suddenly a very small clearing, really not a clearing, but for a massive tree in the middle. Not really massive, but larger than the other kind of pines around it. You can see there are beautifully twisting limbs off of it with gold, pink, blue, and silver leaves as delicate as cherry blossoms. It has huge roots, thicker than the trunk, and they seem to almost hug this very serene, 5-foot wide little pool of water. You can see the water is moving gently within small, like lily pads with orange blossoms in the center that float in these lazy circles. From the tree, you see several small holes, and from them, water trickles into this pond. The smell of this tree instantly reminds you of Master Solano. It is the smell of the same tea that he would drink. And there is an element of peace in this place for just a moment. You doing anything?
Is there a seed or some other...
An acorn?
You walk up into this pond and you look in this there's 2 lily pads that seem to kind of almost twist around each other. Mm-hmm. You don't see a current. You see the water move and ripple, but these perfectly just seem to kind of float, as if they're locked in this swirl. And on one of them, you do see a seed. It's a small pod, and it's something that's very familiar to you because in Squall's End, every spring, there's these beautiful trees, these kind of like pink trees that would flower, even in the winter. This is a pod from one of those trees. And you can see, even like touching it and even smelling it, already it smells like bergamot and jasmine. You remember Solano loved these trees. And for a moment, it is like a gift left for you from a long time ago.
I very politely kind of bow and pick it up and very carefully put it in my pocket.
Put it in your pocket, and as you do, there is a warm breeze in this cold place.
And I'll head back.
You turn to go back, but you feel that breeze still kind of going past you. Turning and following it, you see the trees rippling off into the east, almost like a path.
I'll follow it, sure.
Okay. At this point, you've been alone for probably like a good 10 minutes.
I was like, how
I'm
wide is the
processing.
tree?
Yeah, you see Akka like going around.
I'm
and
just
kinda
like
dropping these
flying,
things.
floating
At
like
this point-
laps around the tree, trying to survey
At
it
this
to like,
point-
where do I stick these to get the best explosive payout?
And so at this point, you've set these 3 explosions kind of where you want them to be, using your previous check.
Great.
Yeah. You return. You can see Brenna still.
Oh, Shay didn't go. Oh, hey. So,
Look, I think we might have gotten off on the wrong foot.
no, I'm sorry. It just, didn't really expect anyone to be here. Glad that you're okay. Sorry about your friends. I'm not great with people in general, is what I've found. So
Found. I love that.
Listen, I say it's okay.
cool. So Shay was going to get a seed. We're gonna blow this up,
Yep.
and then, what's your name?
It's Brenna.
Hi, Akka. Nice to meet you. Again, sorry about your friends.
You don't happen to speak Goliath or
No,
okay, cool.
gnomish, dwarvish.
Okay, perfect.
So, why were you in the tree?
So, I mean, I was with my friends. I don't think we ever established why we were in the tree, but,
So you were sent. You were chasing a bounty. This is kind of as you guys adventuring across. This was a bounty for a tiefling. This is a tiefling with a single name. Very odd kind of horns, in that they were antler shaped. They had come from a place called the Abyssal Mistvale, and they were named Omen.
okay. So I share that, and I say,
Do I know anyone named Omen? The antlers. I'm like,
You've seen one other pair of antlers on a tiefling before.
but his name's not Omen.
But I see the flicker of recognition. I say, you know that guy?
No, just sounds familiar.
Oh,
But-
okay. Well, at this point, I mean, like I said, I think a lot of time has passed, and
Well, when did you come? What year is it? Like,
what year is it?
I have to look.
Akka would know.
I would have
It
to
is
look it
currently
up.
the 21st of the Claws of... Actually, point in fact, when you entered the Feywild, it was the 20th of the Claws of Sunset, which is a Wednesday, if it matters. 1470 Third Age.
Yeah,
Start my adventure.
yeah, 1470. What year did you come in? What?
2 years ago.
2 years. Jesus.
2 I'm really sorry.
Just hold on a second. She
Yeah.
says.
I'm gonna go check.
Yeah, why don't you
the-
go check your
I'm
explosives?
gonna go check just-
So, okay, so Brenna's just gonna kind of process while Akka does his thing.
I'm like, looks good over here.
Yeah.
Gonna go check the next one.
And then she makes a decision, and she kind of goes over to where Akka is, and if he's flying, she's just gonna fly up alongside him.
Flying over to the last one, going around the tree, and it's like, oh shit. Oh, you
Listen.
Hey. Oh yeah.
You guys
Oh,
are
dude,
are
cool.
pretty handy in a fight, and I literally have no idea where I'm supposed to go. Can I tag along for a while?
I'm like it.
You can talk to Shay. That's okay. I'll wait.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but it's gonna be dangerous.
I love danger. I mean, that's why I left my sleepy gnome town. I mean, you saw me fight, right? I'm pretty handy.
I also
can
saw
help.
you frozen in crystallized rock.
That was a one-time thing.
For 2 years.
I usually don't get frozen in crystallized rot.
I would hope not. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we will help you get out of the Feywild. I don't know where you're from, though.
I mean, what are you guys
from the
up to, though? Because maybe I
continent?
can help. I don't want to go home. I like the adventuring life.
So, you seem nice.
And worth noting, Akka, as you struggle to explain this, Shay hasn't been back. It's 20 minutes now at this point, just to kind of find a seed. And Shay moves far very quickly.
So, I can't really go into specifics without consulting with my party. I work for a place called the Dungannon Antiquities Collective. Have you heard of it?
Have I heard of it?
Not even like close.
I just kind of politely, I'm like, uh-huh.
Right. Okay. So I work for them. Currently working alongside Shay and our other compatriots, who they're doing their thing, I'm doing my thing, but we're all kind of doing it together. But it's you know, you're already pretty bummed out. I feel like I'll tell you once you've calmed down a bit, have a chance to kind of collect yourself. 2 years is a lot.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I don't want to like pile it on.
No, that's totally fair.
Because this is like, you know, friends dying, very sad. Stuff that we're dealing with gonna make you more sad. So,
I can. Maybe we should go find Shay.
Yeah,
Where's
Shay!
she off to?
So, Shay, another 5 minutes goes by. You follow this warm breeze, and as you walk through the trees, it feels almost like they're parting for you. You see a path unfurled before you, and looking back, that tree no longer there. You see just forest, but there is warmth ahead. And so, trekking forwards, you begin to see the trees change slightly. It is getting a little bit darker out, and as dark as it ever gets, it is night in the Feywild. Give me 1 second here. You begin to notice the trees, not just pines and elms, you see aspen trees for the first time, kind of bowing outwards slightly. They get thicker and thicker together, this grove. And then you realize this path, no longer is it just like a path that seems to appear, you're walking down a path. This empty path between these aspen trees. And then, in the middle of a very tiny clearing, there is an aspen tree 10 feet thick, only 12 feet tall. Very odd-looking tree, stubby and stumpy as it is. You see these tiny orbs of light that wink in and out of existence around it, and there is a very simple door on the front. Crosshatch woodwork that covers most of the deep green-tinted glass windows. But through the little bits that you can see, you do see firelight.
Go take a closer look.
Okay. You get a little bit closer. Make an investigation check for just kind of peering in.
It's actually pretty good, 17.
Vertigo. Because as you look in, the space is so much larger within than it should be. You can see there must be like a 45 to 35 foot wide room, although kind of like an L shape. You can only see one length of it. The length that you can see, it goes straight to a counter that's about 20 feet long. It's hard to see through this glass, kind of like a tinted green and with this kind of crosshatch behind it. But you see something behind that moving. Humanoid, sort of.
Does it still seem like that warm breeze is around, or has that disappeared?
As soon as you got to this tree, it felt almost as if this breeze walked you to this point. And as soon as you got there, it left, but not in like a vanished sort of way. There's no coldness that replaces it.
Is there a door?
Yeah. This window is on the door that you're looking through.
Guess I'll knock on the door.
Okay. You knock on the door, and it opens. Akka, you, it's going to take me forever because your name could be Brenna or Brenna. I know it's Brenna because Bren rhymes with Ren. It's going to take me a couple sessions.
It's okay.
Brenna and Akka, you walk for 5 minutes. You see Shay's footprints. And following them very quickly, very quickly you come upon a copse of aspen trees bowing outwards. You don't pass any pond. You don't pass anything. Though you follow the footsteps very clearly. You do come across this 10-foot wide tree. Shay, you entering this tree, maybe a minute or two prior to them, you enter this room, L-shaped, 30 foot on one wall, 45 in the longer stretch. There's a 20-foot long corridor that is the small part of the L. It's like a small, it goes up to a counter with small clearance on either side. There's a door on either side of this counter. On the left one has a wooden sign that says "Weary Travelers Welcome" over it. The right door has nothing above it. There's a pair of tables in front of the counter with 4 green cushioned chairs right in front of what is very obviously a bar. Mm-hmm. There's matching high-seated stools that are kind of around all the tables. The wall buckles slightly inwards behind the counter, and from that you can see like 5 branch-like extensions, all moving. You see 2 kind of shifting glasses around, another one kind of pulling something from underneath the table and setting it on. And then you see this knot kind of turn and swirl, and there is a very old, like an old woman's face from the wood itself, very kind looking. She eyes you up and down. At this point, you both outside come to this squat tree. You don't hear them, for what it's worth. Outside, you come to this 10-foot wide, 12-foot tall tree, almost like a boulder of wood with these twisting arms and roots around
like
it.
the trunk of it, basically.
Yeah, basically just like a trunk.
A big old trunk.
Yeah. There's a doorway right in the front.
Oh, look to Brad.
I'm like,
Shay,
The door
You in
opens
there?
as you knock.
Oh.
And you hear Akka just in there as the door opens, almost soundproof. The two of you see this room within. You see this ancient creature, like an old woman coming out of the tree knot. She looks down at you, Shay. And actually, because it is 10 o'clock, this is where we're going to take our break. It's actually 10:18. So because it is 10:18, and I want to be able to take a break at some point before we get into this section.
roll for initiative.
No.
Fight this
Well,
grandma face tree.
Fight grandma. It is 10:18. Thank you for hanging out with us. It is 10:18. We're going to be back. We'll say 10. I'm bad at math. What's 10 minutes?
We've
10:30. 10:30. We'll see you at 10:30. We'll see you.
see you sometime soon.
Hello and welcome back to Adventures in Alberon. Thank you for sticking with us at the break. If you are just joining us, our group... Oh, here, I can't even bring it up still. Special camera. Close camera. Close up! Yeah, we just had a great combat in a underground throne room against creatures of rot and mold. We met Brenna for the first time. Hannah, thank you for joining us this session. After the combat, you have been trying to find a way to destroy this rot-infested massive tree. You sent Shay out into the woods looking for seeds to replace the tree with, as you, Akka, planted essentially grenades around the base of the structure. When Shay didn't return after a couple of minutes, Shay, you going off on a very strange experience and following the almost signs that seem to have been left behind by Master Solano, you found your way to this large aspen tree. Give me 1 second. Let's find out what this music is in real time.
It's my favorite.
Yeah, that's what I always do. This... Where are we here? Okay. This ancient face turns and the eyes almost shut. She looks down at you, Shay, and she goes, "Hello." And she turns, and you can actually hear suddenly the neck, and her eyes narrow at you.
I'm like, oh, excuse me, sorry, just looking for our friend.
Out! And you see one of these, actually make a dexterity saving throw. You see one of these arms kind of, you see very gently, this like, tink, sets the glass
on
down.
This. 23?
23. Right.
Plus 5! Flash of
Going to
genius.
miss anyways, but right by you, you feel, and this tree slams into the inside of its wall. It stretches back, and you can see again the eyes narrow. I said out.
We'll wait outside.
Shuts the door. You see the eyes narrowed, and then, welcome to the Wild Hearth Inn.
Thank you for inviting me.
Say again.
Inviting me?
You're welcome to stay.
May I ask why, considering my friend just now?
You can see the whole structure. You see the walls and everything turns, and like tables shift slightly. The walls, which were square, turn as the tree does. From you outside, the whole tree just shifts slightly, and you feel like the door staring at you. But the face softens again.
Over to Brenna. I'm just kind of like,
I don't think I followed you outside. I think I
You're
stayed
out alone.
inside.
oh, damn.
Sorry.
You just turn and nobody's there.
Oh, guess I'll wait.
She's kind of short, so you're still kind of getting used to keeping track.
Yeah,
of
I was
her.
like floating.
The face softens again, and she says, "He is no friend of the wild."
Yes.
Would you like to stay?
I would be honored, but I'm afraid I have a task that I must finish first.
One of these like arms goes far out and kind of grabs one of the stools and drags it up, offering you a place to sit. You can see one of the other limbs kind of screeching over and pulling off one of these glasses and gently setting it down in front of you.
But I suppose I can stay for a minute.
Just for one. The whole structure on the outside just kind of settles back.
Just kind of sitting out there like,
Oh.
there's no like door visible still,
Yeah,
right?
this is still a visible.
Does it have
door.
like a little eye hole?
Has a window.
I think I'd like kind of peek up at the window every now and again. If it's like, I would do like, 10 minutes later,
Sure.
and then like
The
10
glass is
minutes after
tinted
that.
slightly green, and it's not meant for a window, so it's like kind of uneven and hard to see through. But peering through, you can see like the little shape of Brenna, and you see Shay, the white kind of glowing in this darker space.
Just kinda like, damn.
She turns. Now, what could be so important?
Are you familiar with the tree's name, whatever?
Sun honey?
Yeah.
You can see at that point the bottle. There's like another bottle, like this ceramic jug with a cork, and right as it begins to pull down, you say the name, and the cork just pops out on its own accord. The old face grows kind of sad, and she says, "Yes, it had a voice all its own. So sad."
Yes.
Look, you can see this golden colored mead just flow into the glass. Faint shimmer of green, and just sort of slides to you across the bar. The bar itself, wood,
Yep.
it bends and shifts, so the glass like slides to where you are.
Oh, thank you. It seems as though some sort of rot has infested Sun Honey.
Yes, from far beyond the Feywild.
Yes, I suspected as much.
He turns, the little face now kind of looking, and you can't quite see the face, so it kind of stretches out and like kind of disturbing this face, and the long wooden limb comes out and just peers down at you, but the face is kind. Hello, little one. Will you be staying with us as well?
I kind of glance at Shay and glance at the door behind me. And I'm like, yes, if you'll have me.
Of course. Come on up. And you see one of the stools just shrinks down to about your size.
Oh, thank you. Clamber up onto it.
Just pops right back up. You kind of like pop in your seat a little bit and come back down. You see another glass kind of already making its way down the bar. The wood like turning, almost moving like rubber to like wave this over to you. You both now have glasses of mead in front of you.
I say to the tree, so we've just come from, what did you call it? Sun. And I witnessed firsthand the devastating effect of that rot. And we're trying to cleanse it, but we don't know how. Do you know how?
Well, like all of us, Sun Honey is prone to fire.
We tried that, and the rot seemed, The rot seemed to sort of be knitting itself back together.
Well, it has been a long time, but let me see if he left something. And the face just disappears into the wood. A little bit of time goes by. Go ahead and make a charisma check. Call it just flat charisma.
Natural 1 + 1 is 2.
Okay. Like 3 seconds pass. Get out! The face kind of reemerges, and I'm afraid this old tree doesn't have anything for you. Apologies. But I've rooms, food, drink.
Would be honored, though I do wish to attempt to eliminate the threat that Sun Honey poses quickly. After which time I would be honored by a chance to stay.
Very well. The door will remain open to you. And to you. Do be aware, this is a wandering inn. As the days go on, I can't promise I'll stay.
Well, with any luck, we won't be long.
The door now in front of you, you like starting to get closer to it again, it just opens slowly. Almost as if it's like turning away from you. The trunk turns a little bit so that you're not
I kind of like
looking
turn as it's opening to be like, like, and then kind of peer over, see if it's Shay and Brenna.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, yeah. So I got the things planted. Can we go?
Let's go.
Cool. How was it in there?
Oh, quite nice.
Oh, cool.
I go, What did you do? Never mind, I'm sure it's a long tale.
Suddenly, there's this flurry of movement, and to your west, these trees in the snow pull aside, and you see about 120 feet a straight path back to Sun Honey. Still scrapes in the snow from where the roots kind of pulled. And you see towards the end some of the roots almost like little feet just gingerly stepping away. And you have a path.
Just gonna, like, little float my way down, just kind of like...
Make a dexterity saving throw.
Dex save. Is this a surprise? Because I can't be surprised right now.
Yeah, I would say it's a surprise, I would say.
Because I can't be surprised.
I mean, you're still making a dexterity save.
Okay.
It's just not that surprising.
That's an 18.
That's an 18. Yeah. So you just barely see, as these trees are moving out and you begin to kind of float through, one of the branches just seems to almost purposefully lag behind. And you just float a little bit higher over it. You make your way to Sun Honey, and you can see those vials still where you left them.
All right. Did you find a seed?
Yes.
Great. So I guess we blow it and then grow it.
Amazing.
Sounds like a plan. How do you activate these things? Just shoot them, or?
So I believe any sort of contact, physical, magical, capable, don't know, but you can probably like throw something hard enough at it that it would ignite, I would guess. I'm just gonna shoot fire at it.
I was gonna say, I saw you shooting fire out of your fingertips.
Yeah, but
Maybe you could do
I can
that.
only do one at a time, so I think it probably makes sense to each, so that we can kind of clear it all at once.
How many did you plant?
3, so like kind of boop, 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 triangulation to take the whole thing down.
Yeah. You made a pretty good triangulation. So
Yeah.
you have one kind of on the west, one on the east, and then one to the north. None near the doorway, as the doorway is already an opening.
Yeah.
You're basically just trying to whittle away as much as possible.
Yeah, so that it kind of like
Yeah.
falls in like a building. And
Yeah.
then
You're not trying to have
collapses.
it fall sideways. You're trying
Yeah.
to fall. Yeah, absolutely. I got what
Yeah.
you're trying to do.
Okay, cool.
So
You said you think hitting it real hard will do the trick? And
Yeah, but-
I take out one of my javelins and I'm like, huh?
Yeah, that'll probably work. Can you hit it? It's pretty small.
yeah, no, you're in the. Yeah, you reach down, just pick up a rock.
How good's your aim?
It's pretty good with a javelin. But, if you've got a better idea, I'm all ears.
I was, I just thought that the vials was going to be enough. So, yeah, I guess just throw a javelin at it and hope that we all hit simultaneously. Should I call it out, or do one of you? What?
I know you take the lead, Chief. You're
Count
doing
out from
great.
3. Okay, I'm gonna put the necklace that I just got on.
Sure. Okay, great. I'm glad this is coming in handy.
Yeah. So, on the count of 3.
Worth noting, as soon as the necklace goes on, Akka's voice booms.
So, on the count of 3, we all aim for our vial. All right? It's important that we get it at the same time.
Okay.
Okay? So don't miss.
No pressure.
I'm going to get back 90 feet.
Okay.
Cast a firebolt at
Sure.
it.
Yeah. You can do that. So you call out 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. All right, on 3. As in, I'm gonna go 1, 2. That next number is the one that we're gonna. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, so go ahead and make your attack roll with your firebolt. Make your attack roll with your javelin. Make your attack roll with your rock. I don't think you have improvised
proficient.
weapons, so
I am.
you're fine.
Joe,
Yeah.
I got another natural
Is
one.
that your 5th one this
Oh
session?
my god.
Yes, it is.
Holy shit.
Throw that die away.
I need a dice jail.
Yeah. Do you want other dice?
No, I have plenty.
That sucks. Okay.
That's a
Get ready to run.
26. What was yours?
Mine was 16.
So this firebolt kind of hits the tree behind the bottle and then ricochets and there's this huge explosion. You hear a matching one as this rock just hits it dead on. That explodes.
Brenna throws a javelin right into her foot.
This thing just explodes. For you, you take the javelin and you throw it high. Akka, make a dexterity saving throw, please.
So sorry.
21.
21. You kind of 3. You're like, where's the third? And this javelin straight over your shoulder, and you're like, oh, that's probably where the third explosion was. Echoing through the Feywild. These 2 echoing explosions.
Seeing it happening,
Yeah.
I'm gonna fly over as quickly as I can to try and cast a firebolt on the last one so that it doesn't topple in that direction.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Make your attack roll at disadvantage, we're going to call that, because that's tough. That's a tough one.
That is gonna be a tough one. Ooh, that just got even tougher.
Okay.
That is a 12.
A 12. Okay. You like fly forwards, and as you do, it's almost like the tree is going with you, and you realize it's already going. At this point, your arm is like still forwards. You
Get out of the way!
You're like, I hope it didn't hit anybody. I hope it didn't hit anybody. You see Akka fly this firebolt by the tree. You see just going right by the bottle, and then suddenly you're aware that the tree is like coming straight down towards you.
Oh god, I run.
I think
Telekinetic
also,
shove.
Okay.
Like moving in that direction, so as I'm going by, I just kind of scoop and go.
So you're standing there,
Very
you
small
see
legs.
it like it gets closer, the shadow overcoming your face, and then at the same time, you feel an invisible hand and a very visible Shay fire you to the side. You feel like the air leave your body. Your tiny form hit with the force of basically a freight train. But you are moved to the side by a good 30 feet.
Thank you.
The tree down, and you can see just fire racing up the part that's been chopped in half.
And the last one probably went off when it...
So as soon as it
Landed on
hits,
it.
underneath, just like sparks and scatters of rotting material on fire, very much so. You see
Cloak up.
burning bits of wood scattered like 30, 50, almost 100 feet away in some places into the woods. Here and there you can see parts of the pines and the elms just start to smolder a little bit.
Another
I'm
forest fire.
putting them out. Gotta put them out. I'm just hasting up, and I'm going to put out all the fire.
So with the use of haste, no problem. You can go out, and suddenly, Akka, you see this like swirl of sigils of beautiful calligraphy, and Akka becomes a blur of green. You see the fire just, and as soon as one fires up, like another one goes down. You're making pretty good progress on this. And I'm going to say, without too much trouble, you put out the threat of a looming wildfire.
Great.
Literal wildfires. You are within the Feywild. However, this tree is burning very quickly. And to your point, it's like this rotting material, almost like an oil slick. It just races up the tree.
Do I my best to kind of scrape away the surrounding and try to like contain it?
Sure. Yeah, you scrape away elements of it, but you can see, like, with the sudden flare-up, the snow melting away, there isn't much that's not, like, moisture-soaked that's really going to catch. This burns very quickly and strong.
So the grass that was dead,
Yes.
that was like 50 feet out from
Incinerated. Around
Right.
From, like, 20 feet
like
out
that
from the tree,
probably
just gone. Yeah.
lit up.
Yeah.
Is there like, how far into the rest of the grass is the rest of the tree now? It's like
Maybe
50
like
feet?
40 feet, and parts is like crumbled away and like fallen down, and then there's like probably another broken chunk 20 feet further that slid in the snow.
okay.
That part has like little bits of flames. So there's like 2 separate flaming chunks.
Okay.
Little space.
So
in
I would
between.
probably go and kind of using firebolt,
Sure.
create a perimeter of burn to
Okay.
prevent it from spreading off of those,
Sure.
and like a perimeter of burn around that as well.
So
At the
you
little
burn the
chunk.
vegetation around the burning tree so that it cannot spread beyond its current perimeter.
Yes.
No problem.
Great.
That's easy enough. So you burn away the little bits of brush and the scraps, and you find elements of bark still kind of smoldering, and put those out. And before too long, you have 2 horrifically smelling bonfires just going.
Okay.
Good job, everybody. I definitely helped.
I guess I just spend the next however long it takes to burn all of it, just making sure that it doesn't spread and stuff.
Yeah. So I mean, you certainly
Watching this giant stinky bonfire.
as you watch it burn, you'd imagine it's burning quickly. Probably 2 hours,
good.
give or take.
Okay.
You could hang out and just watch the fire smolder.
Yeah, I think this is probably a good time to like float down and be like, I guess it's okay.
As he floats down, there's like fire behind him, like 40 feet tall flames burning into the sky, like the smoke billowing up into the beautiful dark emerald kind of Feywild sheen. You look pretty maniacal, kind of floating down for sure.
So it'll probably take, given the burn rate, like 2.5 hours for all of it to burn, and then probably just gonna have to inspect the area around, make sure aren't any lingering signs of rot. So guess,
You volunteering to keep an eye on it?
I mean, I kind of have to.
You think back to your greeting once you went in, and probably a good idea to.
So I guess you want to just give me the seed now if you're not gonna stay and help, or
How long have we been out and about at this point? Are we tired?
Yeah, no, certainly. You guys are pushing exhaustion at this point.
I tell you what,
yeah,
you keep an eye on it, make sure it doesn't burn away,
that was my plan.
take a little bit of a rest because we're all tired,
Yeah, that's.
and then once it's all
I guess I'll just
burning and not
sleep here, cause, you know, I don't know where else to go.
we'll meet you back here in the morning.
Yeah. Have a good night.
Thanks,
You
Azrah.
know, like,
Jay turns and just walks back.
just kind of like stare at the fire.
Brenna, what are you doing?
I think I'm gonna go with Shay because I've been hoping for an opportunity to like talk to her.
Sure.
I keep being trapped in a conversation alone with Akka.
It's a Faye person does.
So like I feel bad for him, but I'm definitely going with Shay.
So Akka, you are left alone to watch the smoldering remains of this
Just kind
tree.
of like,
You return. The kindly old face turns as you enter and just, welcome back.
Thank you.
What could I get for you?
Just food, refreshment, bed for the night.
Of course. One of the limbs kind of stretches and gestures to the door that says, weary travelers welcome. Up those stairs, you'll find a number of rooms. Part of the enchantment that made me makes them inconsistent. I don't know what you'll find, but they're all nice.
That works for me.
And for dinner. And you can already smell something cooking. You smell something smoky and salty. And one of these limbs comes out, and on it there's this huge platter. There's a full roasted, where are we here? A full roasted boar. It's been marinated in red wine vinegar, with diced hot peppers and bay leaves, and you can smell all of this kind of rolling off. Having not eaten in close to 16 hours, it smells pretty good. The mead glasses are refilled, and you are left to your dinners. Akka, what are you eating? This is like this beautiful inside. It's like warm. There's like a crackling fire.
I'm just
and
kind
then,
of like, I'm sitting like 90 feet away from a giant burning turd pile,
it crackles
chewing on
away.
some like month-old stale ration.
This is the consequences of your own actions.
Drinking a lot of water.
Sure. So
Cause
you get very well hydrated over the course of
probably
this
like
time.
really hot. God.
It smells bad, and you're realizing as you get closer to it, over the hour, the smoke is blowing back onto you, and you
I'm
can
like
feel like an
Covering,
oily sheen.
yeah, I'm covering my face if that starts happening with my cloak.
And you look down,
Pulling it up.
and after another 10 minutes, your cloak is beginning to discolor around your mouth. I mean, it's pretty
I'm
foul.
gonna do the artificer shit, clean it up, make it smell nice.
You use the effect to make it smell like whatever you would like it to smell
Like not burning shit.
like. So, the two of you back there, you guys are having a lovely, wonderful dinner. Is there something that you want to talk to Shay about?
Yeah, so Shay, I've been trying to get you. I've been hoping to talk to you. Akka seems a little uncomfortable around me. The truth is, I've got nowhere to go, and it seems like you guys have some pretty important business, and, you know, I'd really like to be able to help you out pretty good in a fight. And the only thing I ask in return is that if we come across the man who took my friends and I take out the scrap of fabric and I show it to her, that you not hold me back.
You
Like
see...
a piece of cloth.
I have no idea.
So, a couple of things happen at once. First of all, this old face just turns and goes, "That's so sad." And you can see like one of the faces is cleaning the glasses. "I didn't mean to listen in, but you're the only people here." And she just kind of goes back to cleaning the glass. Shay, as soon as this cloth is held out, the purple is ninth path.
Yep.
But the cloth, you can see where it was torn, this faint bit of orange. This is somebody who was part of the Zinni originally. This is one of the original people that probably turned.
Where did you get that?
When I entered, or when I was in the tree with my friends, somehow we were all cocooned. That's how you found me. But at some point before you guys arrived, two people came and took the cocoons that had my friends away. And they said something about... Feel free to jump in, Joe. Something about a harvest.
Give me 1 second here.
Yeah.
Okay, so-
Something about an engine of war needing fuel. And one of them, you know, my friend fought back and he killed him without mercy.
So you
And that's
remember-
all I know.
You remember they said, "Our engine of war requires more fuel. May we proceed."
Right.
The other voice said, 3 of 4 are developed enough to move. The original voice said, "Their flames may cull our harvest, and yet the seasons change. Proceed." The other things that you said after the other things that happened, you heard that voice say, "Your attempt is noble." Your friend spoke, and then the man said, "Trust that your effort is not wasted. There is no futility, especially in death." And that is what he said.
And then I don't know what happened after that. I came to when you guys arrived.
Shay, as she says these words, when you hear "their flames may cull our harvest and yet the seasons change," that's coded message. That's vaguely Zinni code, although now clearly shifted. There's a double meaning there, and make a flat intelligence check. Oops, sorry about that.
15.
15. Hard to tell. There's an element of that brings to mind the Zinni proverb about sort of like the need to not fight against inevitability, and yet not surrendering to it. But it's changed. Kind of hard to tell how. And then that part about there being no futility, especially in death, that's a little weird. That's what you get from that.
This tale just gets curiouser and curiouser. Of course, you may travel with us for as long as you choose.
Akka seemed to indicate that there was some pretty wild stuff going on. He said it'd be dangerous. I'm on board with that.
There is... You said you've been gone for 2 years.
Apparently so.
There's a creature we're kind of presently hunting. Very undead. Very slowly taking over the countryside with zombies.
Oh! That sounds like a good thing to try to stop.
Yes, you would think.
You take a sip of your mead, and this old woman kind of turns to you and says, "Again, not to be nosy, but we don't like zombies here either. That sounds terrible."
Yes, they are rising in the streets of a city called Dungannon.
Not much for cities. There were cities where I was from, but that was so long ago. Tell me, what are you going to do about that?
Well, find the one that's causing them to rise and make him actually dead again.
That sounds very dangerous.
Yeah. Just seems to be getting more and more so.
And are you going to be traveling with that ugly elf outside?
For now, his interests and mine align.
I'm very sorry.
Yes. He is an interesting character.
Well, you'll find good rest here. He won't be as fortunate.
Yeah. Well, just go back to
So, is there anything any of you wish to do before settling in for a long rest?
I'm going to use some of my 4-hour time of meditation. I'm going to try to come up with a nice painting of the tree that just burned down from my memory.
Okay.
And using the external landscape,
Okay.
as a token. Trying to make this apology as sincere as possible.
So are you actually going to paint it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead and make a sleight of hand check.
Yeah. Painting it from memory. I believe I have advantages.
You do, because you have your tinker, whatever the artificer tinker tool thing is.
Yeah.
The right tool for the job.
Yep. That is a 23, and I'm gonna make it a 28.
Using flash of inspiration for painting.
Yeah, I'm about to take a long rest anyway.
Why not?
You take some time to set up your materials, your paints, this canvas, and you really, though breathing it in is tough, you really take in the scenery. The colors really lend themselves to your painting.
Not the burning tree,
Yeah,
obviously. Like the tree as it was.
That is the most present smell, and so it's hard to kind of overcome that.
Yeah.
However, that being said, you do begin to paint it, and from memory, it really seems to be a lot nicer than what you came to it as. You kind of take away the rot and imagine it as it might have been.
Yeah,
And for what it's worth, it's a beautiful tree, and the painting is quite striking. You said 28?
Yeah.
In painting that, there is this element of I wouldn't know that. No, that's pretty much all you got. The tree, it's a beautiful tree. Really beautiful painting.
All right. Well, hopefully it's good enough for the apology. And I'm just gonna get back to fucking shit burning watching.
Okay. As this happens, the temperature begins to drop. And over the course of the night, it gets quite cold. To the point that you would find trouble sleeping were you not to do something to stay a little bit warmer.
All right. Once it gets that cold, I'd probably just firebolt a little
Campfire.
campfire.
Okay, no problem. You keep yourself warm that way, but still, you find yourself shivering. It's warm enough.
Probably put on my warm weather cloak or my cold weather cloak.
Right around after a couple of hours, as the fire is starting to kind of die down a little bit, the big fire of this tree, it does begin to snow, and it is quite pretty, although very cold. For the two of you, you walk through this door that says, "Weary travelers, welcome." There's a large staircase. Already, just what you can see, though it spirals, it goes at least 20 feet up. This tree is far taller than this tree already is. But walking it, you come to a landing with a red door. You see live holly branches bordering around it. The stairs continue up. Okay. Shay, opening the door, you see 2 single beds with dark green sheets and pillows. A tiny wood stove burns cheerily, filling the room with a warmth and faint woodsy aroma. You can see a nightstand on either side, on one for each bed, sorry. A tall, thin pitcher of water and a small amber glass.
Just walk in and stay here.
Okay, fair enough. You guys can all mark off long rests.
Boop, boop, ba-doop, ba-doo.
Aka.
Oh, no.
4 hours goes by. You meditate and you, you right there, bud.
Yeah, I'm just meditating.
You find it gets colder and colder. There is a point, probably about 5-6 hours in, right as you would imagine your companions beginning to get ready to wake up, where it becomes markedly colder. So much so that you see the very far end of the clearing, the little bits of embers in one of the trees just, you can actually hear it die. And you see, almost like a wave, the flames go out. And from the trees, you can see emerging.
Presence? I'm on guard.
Yeah. Clad in all white, the Eladrin Azalian, eyes glowing through the darkness, through the snow.
Oh,
The cold follows him.
ceasefire.
Okay. As he approaches and gets within 10 feet of you, the fire at your feet goes out. But he nods to you. You've done what was asked.
I have.
Consider yourself forgiven.
I also present the painting, say, as a memorial for...
Make a persuasion check.
$50?
15? Okay. He takes the painting with 2 fingers in each hand, just gingerly holding it, but holds it out and... This isn't bad. He just kind of leans it against a tree.
Shay and the others should be back soon.
Well,
Shay also has a seedling to plant in place of this. Another gesture of goodwill.
thank you. I have your reward, if you would take it, or...
I thought the reward was just not being outwardly hated by the Feywild.
That was your reward. Your friends came seeking this. He reaches into the white and he pulls out You see a perfectly oval piece of quartz, once transparent and opaque.
Oh, is this the resurrection stone?
Depending on the angle, looking at it, it seems to have veins of gold, though close inspection reveals them to be powerful
we're coming
runes
for
of
that.
divine magic that shimmer when touched. It is a resurrection stone.
Thank you. We'll make good use of it. I hope.
He is going to say, your friends are no longer with you.
They're staying in the tree.
Not those friends. The tabaxi and the tiefling.
What? Where are they? What did you do something?
No. The call of those mirrors is strong. Don't fault them. You're welcome to remain in the frost line for as long as you wish, but I could happily help you back to the edge, should you want to return. Otherwise, I have places to be.
Do you know where Meliora is?
Not within the frost line.
Well, thank you. On behalf of myself and my friends, we'll probably be leaving soon.
He very, almost imperceptibly bows to you, and then turns, and you can see just walking back. And as he does, where he walks along the tree, the part that went out just kind of flares back and begins to burn as cinders yet again. And as he leaves, it's almost like the winter travels with him. For the two of you, you wake up. Nice warm beds. You could see the pitchers of water, had you drank any, has been freshly filled. It is morning. You can mark off a long rest and all the benefits that brings with it.
I say to Shay, I'm starting to feel bad for Akka. Should we go find him?
Yes, we should. But really, it's his own fault. At some point, you can't save everyone.
Oh, too true.
Downstairs.
You go and you see this kindly old face. As you go, she says, will you be staying for breakfast?
Sure, a quick breakfast.
Might as well.
You sit down to a breakfast of spiced fried potatoes, eggs, and venison sausage seasoned with honey and clove. It's a lovely breakfast, and it really finds you find yourself very full. Akka, what are you eating for breakfast?
Probably just like half, like whatever shitty stale ration I was eating.
Yeah.
I'm just like mindlessly taking a bite of it every couple of I'm just like
getting it down.
yeah, it's tough. Moron and Heinrich are coming. How am I gonna tell Shay?
After breakfast, if you were to leave.
I figured that part we would.
Can I take like a sausage or something with me that I intend to give to Akka?
Sure, yeah. You pocket a
Stuff
sausage.
one in my
pocket sausage.
in my pocket.
Heading out, you step back, and as soon as you shut the door, you see the seams almost begin to disappear and dissolve. And the tree begins to stretch and elongate, and after a little bit, it's just one more aspen tree.
That was quite a lovely experience.
Best I've had in a long time.
Yes, I'd imagine so. Anyway, let's go find Akka.
Not too hard, but 120 feet. It's a straight path.
Oh, look, there he is.
You see smoldering fire, although much smaller. And you see Akka just munching on something.
I brought you some breakfast.
I'm not moving.
As you reach into your pocket, you pull out scraps of bark. Aspen.
Aw.
No longer sausage.
Never mind.
Interestingly, though, as they approach, you smell cloves, honey, venison. They smell delicious. And then she
Maybe I'll
offers you
eat
some more.
one of them.
Did you say maybe you'll eat one of them?
Well, thanks, I guess. Shay. Like, whew, this is, this really is a punishment, huh? So, Morwen and Heinrich aren't coming back. Azalian told me they went through the wrong mirror. I don't know what that entails, but
I don't either. But perhaps we'll meet up with him again.
So I got the resurrection stone. Also, he gave me that.
Very useful now.
Yeah, kind of feels like a hollow victory. At least the trees don't actively hate me anymore.
Oh, good. You got that resolved.
Yeah, well, got the resurrection stone too.
So what now?
I don't know.
Back to Yorn, pick up the ship, and then back to Dungannon.
Seems like our best course of action.
Our new traveling companion seems interested in sticking around for a while.
You're okay
You
with
look
it?
over like 30 feet away. Brenna's just like the little gnome in the snow that you've now done this aside to for the third time in 24 hours.
She seems eager and not put off by undead, so
I mean, yeah, why
at
not?
this point, it
I-
could be worse.
I look down at my arm, kind of like, I'll tell her later.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, back to Yorn then.
I think that probably our
I'll
best
hold on to the
interest.
resurrection stone. Maybe bring it to the collective. Keep it there.
Yeah.
Kind of owe
So
them
how are
one.
you guys going to go back to Yorn?
Azalian said he could bring us back to the edge. However, then I thanked him and he left because you were both in the tree and I was still watching the, burning pile of rotting tree. So,
What's up? Yeah? And I
hey!
kind of...
So Shay says that you're cool staying with us. So welcome aboard.
thanks.
As it so happens, we have a few spots opening up.
Oh, wow.
So
Yeah, that's great. Sounds
stay
like...
as long as you want. I feel like, so Shay, I don't know if this, like, if you feel very strongly about it, but Finger Gang,
That was a Gunter thing, and
the grung.
yeah, when he wasn't a grown,
Oh,
he would
so
fingers.
maybe we stop calling ourselves that.
You guys hung
When
out
we
with a guy
introduce-
who collected fingers?
Oh my god.
It was, I kind of came after,
Right.
but apparently he was not a grung before, but I met him and he was a grung. Pretty nice grung. He seemed like a nice enough grung. As nice a grung as I've ever met, at least.
For perspective, you have no idea what a grung is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, not anywhere near.
I'm just smiling and nodding. I've learned over the past 24 hours. I've learned that smiling and nodding with Akka is the way to go.
So, welcome aboard. We are going to Yorn next. Have you heard of Yorn?
Have I heard of Yorn?
You don't speak giant, correct?
No.
Yeah, no idea.
Nope. But I'm ready for anything. We can.
Okay. Quick rundown. It is a giant, like literal, the species giants.
They are so much bigger than me.
It is one of their lost civilizations that's floating in the sky. So we're going there. Shay's organization. They are currently making base there to help with our endeavors. Don't know how much Shay filled you in on. Probably we'll fill you in on the way.
There's like 3 years worth of material we'd have to go back and like recover.
We'll give you the brush, the broad brush strokes. So going after
Zeistries? I didn't use his name, but I told him.
So that guy's name is Zeistries,
Do I recognize that name?
the one who Shay told you about.
Check. And make a history check at advantage.
Natural 20 for a total of 21.
Yeah, you've heard of Zeistries, and you've heard of it because Zeistries, the last time that he rose to power, hundreds of years ago. If this is a real person, this is very similar to somebody kind of being like, yeah, Santa Claus is doing this to us. This is like almost like a boogeyman kind of thing.
Okay.
Zeistries was a mind flayer who rose or attempted to rise to lichdom roughly 600 years ago. Disappeared off the face of the planet for reasons that nobody's really clear about. But the Underdark was where he thrived and where it's speculated he originated from. The Duergar to the far south of where you grew up. Across the Dark Salt Ocean, even further south into Dominion, there is a Duergar. There's several Duergar communities, but one in particular controlled by a faction called the Deep Singers, who are sort of mortal enemies to the magic users of your place. The last time that your people and the Duergar worked together was to take down Zeistries, apparently.
Okay. But, alright, so I'm like, yeah, I've heard of that guy. I didn't think he was real, but you guys seem trustworthy,
really?
so.
Apparently he is.
Yeah, the legends go way back. You had never heard of him before? Maybe it's just an Underdark thing.
Some obscure texts, but nothing like what is like a. How do you know about?
That's the legends. That's I just heard of him. I don't know. It's because I rolled well.
Well, okay.
Listen, I mean, if this guy is actually real, he's a very bad dude. I'd love to help.
He very much is, and so we are going to try and stop him. Now, that's the plan.
Sounds
Yep,
good.
that's the plan, right, Shay? And also Shay's I'm gonna like go over like so one of Shay's father figures has also aligned himself against us and the goal of, stopping cataclysmic world-ending events. So
That must
I
be
don't
hard
know.
for her.
I don't know. She doesn't really talk about it much. So just, heads up.
Got it.
She does hit very hard. I have seen that.
Okay.
You have seen that. So just, be
Shay, you're
aware.
hearing all of this, by the way. The passive is 18. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, 20, right. Yeah, no. Yeah, you hear this.
So just,
I'll
it may or may not be a sensitive subject. I would advise erring on the side of caution.
noted.
So that's sort of what we're going to be doing, right? Is we're going to go back to Dungannon. That's sort of where I'm from. You don't know about Dungannon. It's a city very south of here. But we're going to stop by Shay's monastery campsite location. And then probably head down there if you're down with that.
I'm down with that. Thanks for the rundown.
Okay,
Oh,
great.
that
So,
sounds good.
we got a resurrection stone.
Would I
Feywild doesn't
recall
actively hate me anymore.
out from here?
Oh, boy. So you would know a couple of things about the Frostline. Firstly, when Akka had mentioned those mirrors, you also remember, now thinking about this, one of the rules of the Frostline is that there is a rule of intentional travel. You need to know very clearly and hold in your mind where you will go, or else the Frostline will move you to meet its own ends. And thinking about Heinrich and Morwen no longer being with you, probably what happened to them. However, knowing a little bit about the Frostline, should you keep certain spots in your mind, you imagine you could probably pick your way back. It's a long walk.
Don't know how we could contact Azalian again. He said Meliora's not here anymore either. Azalian, ruler of this place, ostensibly. So, yeah, we just were doing that for him.
Okay.
Accidentally killed a tree. It's a whole... You don't need
sounds
to know
like a
the
whole thing.
details.
No,
It was an
it's-
accident.
Yeah.
I've made amends. We can leave now.
Oh, okay.
Got a resurrection stone. But yeah, bigger fish to fry, as it were. So, but we probably could have used Azalian's help getting out of here.
You don't have any way to contact him?
Not that... I'm just coming fresh off of being literally marked for death by most of the beings in this plane.
That is fair.
So, probably not the best person to be asking for favors.
Okay, I look at Shay and I go,
Do I recall any way to request his alien's presence, or how we go about contacting him?
So far, nobody's requested his presence, but
Sure.
seeing as how he is like a very powerful Fey creature within this small portion of the Feywild that he controls and has set rules that physically change this space, you'd imagine you could probably just ask for him.
He's probably just been listening in, just like, this fucking idiot. I'm just gonna watch until one of them fucking calls me.
Azalea, when you have a moment.
You can feel and hear the creak of wood as it gets colder. And again, from the same
The
direction,
seed.
the snow begins first, and then the cinders go out completely. The tree blackens. You don't see any sign of the rot that once took it. Just charred wood, charred ground, and melted snow. Ice around the periphery. But from the tree line steps Azalian, clad all in white. You can see a few splotches of color amongst his garb, like light violets and lilacs and all the colors of sun on snow. But he crosses the 30 feet over to all of you, the snow kind of crystallizing as he steps.
Well met. Would you be able to take us to the edge of the forest line?
I can.
Would be much appreciated.
I could take you further.
Could you?
I can do many things. But as I said before, it's a favor for a favor.
Yes. We're looking to travel to Yorn. The closest you could get us to there?
I can get you to Yorn.
Alright.
I'll warn you, the tree that I know there, not a friendly one.
Forewarned.
Are you all ready?
Yes. Very much.
And you, little one,
Yep.
you've been here for some time.
Yeah, eager to make my way past that experience.
It's been a long day.
He turns and says, it's only just begun.
It's a long one.
Are you all ready? I would brace yourselves. When we enter your plane, it will be nighttime.
Wonderful. Put on my warm cloak again. Well, I probably
You're
still
wearing
have it
your
on,
cloak,
yeah.
I would assume, yeah. Howdy, Tom. Oh, nice. So you're gonna be signing us off tonight. welcome to the stream.
No holds barred.
He closes his eyes, and you can see and feel the ground shake and reverberate deep. Not just the snow and not just the surface soil, but something deep within the earth begins to shake, and you can see the cracks form in the snow. The cracks sort of shift, and you can see where they become more and more complex, they suddenly become runes, and you see a very familiar, almost teleportation circle around all of you. And then there's a sensation of movement and speed, and suddenly it is dark, and you stand in a courtyard you've been in before, you specifically. All around you, moving in the dark now, much more active than it is during the day. You see the arms of a massive ficus tree. Some of these arms hundreds of feet long, roots sneaking through the structure that you are currently within. But because it is drawing close to that time, I think this is a good place to end for tonight. Also have to get that map out again.
Am I gonna have to burn another tree right after I just fixed burning a tree?
Maybe you don't have to burn the tree.
I mean,
Burn them all.
You asked, and he very ominously put there. I feel like it was pretty ominous, that statement.
Yeah. I couldn't say anything.
So, thank you very much for hanging out with us tonight. Hannah, thank you for joining us for the first time. We
Thanks for
appreciate
having
it.
me. It was a lot of fun.
So typically, and I totally was going to write you up something.
You
to
said
script,
you
and I
were going
totally
to,
forgot.
just in case.
I totally forgot. So typically, for a sign-off, all that you're really saying is goodbye, and we'll see you next week. And you can say it however you would like.
Well, folks, it's been great. Can't wait to see y'all next week.
Goodbye.
Bye.